Everybody's asleep.
Hey, everybody. It's the middle of the night. Keep it down. Keep it down. It's the middle of the night. What up? What up? We're here. We're queer. Get used to it. It's about to be nobody in this motherfucker. Nobody here tonight. Nobody here tonight. 35 concurrents. What is this? 2023 again? Folks, we're going live. And it's the mother fucking hit list. Oh man, look how bad that is. Folks, welcome to another episode of Westside Tyler Live. I'm your host, Westside Tyler Bell. It's the middle of the night, so the lighting is very dramatic. Folks, welcome back. Look, the last Jarritos I had, caffeine free, baby. Guava. Oh, it's the middle of the night. Hanging out. Welcome. It's a late night episode of Westside Tyler Live with me, your host, Westside Tyler Bell, host of the long-running horror and dark fiction podcast, The Westside Fairy Tales, which you can learn more about at westsidefairytales.com. God damn, look how fucking white I am. Do I have all the mortar off of me? I've been tiling all night. I tiled all afternoon, all evening, right? And I got a second wall almost completely done. I have one row of tile left, which is the hardest row to do because I've got to cut everything down at an angle so that it fits in the right way. But huzzah, 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 huzzah. That fucking whole goddamn wall is finished. Hooray. There's a shitload more to do. So I'm going to have weird streams all week this week. I might be doing a normal stream tomorrow. I might not. I have no idea. But I've got to get this done so that I can get it off of my plate and out of my fucking head. All right, my day to day right now is just thinking about how to solve random geometry problems that come up when you make a mistake and how you install your floor 2 months ago that affects the thickness of the tile at the ceiling line. Oh my god. What a nice treat. Usually miss the lives, not your stream during work. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome. I look like I'm coming out of my curtains. I am. I'm actually a shadow demon. What do I talk about? Ill-rested. Oh god, speaking of which, do I have that available? Do I have that available? Was that on the desktop? I feel like I saved it. Maybe I put out a link to it. Let me double check. I've gotta look this up. Hold on, give me just a second. Okay, give me a second. This is gonna be a very low energy stream. I would just this is like I'm streaming as a treat. I actually do enjoy it. I enjoy streaming. It is not like work to me. I mean, it can be pretty fucking tiring, but trust me, if you guys are like, why is this guy able to just talk for 6 hours straight? It's because I like doing it. So I told myself if I get whatever, at least 7 rows of tile done today, which I did. And one row of tile is fucking 12 inches tall. It's actually 11 and a half-ish inches tall, or 11 and almost 3/4 inches tall. But trust me, that's 12 inches in tile world. That I would do a stream and I got it done, which is it's a fuckload of work. A fuckload of work, but I did it. And so we're here now, talking. All right, having a conversation. But where the fuck is this? I had that ready. But what the fuck? Did I save that somewhere? Where? Downloads. No. Absolutely not. No. Okay, yeah. Here it is. Okay. I saw this the other day, and I was laughing my fucking ass off at it. because there's very few things in the world that are as funny as this, and this is very fucking funny to me. So I guess what was it? President Sunday is a guy on the internet. This dildo, right? I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about, but apparently he posted this. Somebody shared it in my Discord, and I have been cracking up about it for like the last day, but it's not a major issue for me to get ahead of. I don't know if it's even, I haven't even double checked his channel. Somebody just shared the screenshot, so I saved it so I didn't have to go look for it. President Sunday, this is from a couple days ago, even though it says 2 hours ago. Bad news. I've received confirmation that due to Westside Tyler's false strike on my channel, even with the warning expired, I cannot monetize content here. Please subscribe to President Sunday Prime, where I'll be streaming and uploading prepared content from here on. And consider joining my Patreon to help support me and my team. Don't do that. Unsubscribe. Unsubscribe and report his Patreon. How about that? No, I have no fucking idea what he's talking about. I didn't get a strike against the guy's channel. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about at all. I don't. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm taking credit for it. I did. I ended President Sunday's YouTube channel. It was me. Oh shit, that's the wrong thing to scroll through. And yeah, I'll take it. I'll take credit for it. Fuck yeah. Did I do it? No. Would I have done it? Well, now that it seems to have worked, I'll say sure. I did it. I'll put it in the clip. I struck President Sunday's channel and killed it. And I'll do it again. Okay? President Sunday Prime is next. How about that? We got him on the run, boys. I don't know what the false strike is that he's talking about, because if he's trying to like conflate it with, so first off, I didn't get a false strike. I didn't get a strike against anybody. I told people to take the fucking AI song down, or I would strike it. That's a copyright claim. That's not a false copyright claim. That's you used my song without permission. That's how intellectual property works. Get fucked. Take me to court. The guy didn't want to go to court. Obviously, who would? Because you're a fucking idiot if you do. It's my song's lyrics. Don't do that. You didn't do anything. It's a fucking AI program anyway. I know you don't have a lot of emotional connection to the thing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, no one wants to have the first AI copyright case internationally to go to some fucking YouTubers. So I'd be throwing my lot in with Disney, who's apparently trying to fuck start you guys right now. Hey, Gorpity Gorp, Uncle Iroll super chatted $9.99. I am Spartacus. Yes, it's a very I am Spartacus moment. I do not feel bad about this at all. I'm happy that Sunday got demonetized. I would celebrate if he had to get a real job. He's a bad person. His content's dog shit. His community's full of pedophiles and weirdos, necrophilia enthusiasts, and yeast infection enjoyers. It's a fucking cesspool. And when bad things happen to them, I smile. I enjoy that. This all happened while I'm busy doing other stuff, is the funniest part. Like, this guy's barely hanging on to the one thing in his life that's ever going to give it value. And if I could take it from him, I think it'll kill the guy. Like he'll spiritually die. And I want that for him because I don't like him. I've said this before. If I don't like you, I'll try to fuck you over. Why wouldn't I? Like, you know, these people make these lame fucking, like, they're like, I don't know if you know this Tyler, he's a psycho. Like, what do they do? Well, he says he doesn't like me. If he finds a way to fuck me over, he will. Well, what did you do? Well, I gave him a way to, I baited him into fucking me over, and then he fucked me over, so that now you guys all know that he'll follow through. But this one, I didn't even do this one, but I'll take credit for it. It's not like, oh, you're trying to wash your hands. I'll take responsibility for this. If he falls down a fucking set of stairs tomorrow, drunk off his ass and breaks his fucking neck, Matlock, come talk to me, all right? I'll take credit for that one, too. I guess the voodoo doll worked. Wow, my livelihood's tied up in a channel that I get drunk at work. Do you know what I think it was? I think it was Card. I think Card posting got him. Card didn't make a report either. Card just fucking looked at him and it hit like a fucking automatic stand attack. Card Lumbo was over here fucking figuring it out. Fucking false strike. What fuck? Because, like, what kind? Also, like, it's funny that if you know anything about YouTube and you make YouTube videos, you know that there's different types of strikes. There's copyright. There's community guidelines. So, like, what did he get hit with? Was it copyright? Was it community guidelines? Somebody said the only thing I reported him for one thing, and it was one of the fucking blowjob thumbnails in like last summer. So it's been over a year. The strikes have to be within 90 days. So whatever happened and whatever he did has to be within 90 days. The last two people I've ever struck was him and then Aiko for fucking making necrophilia porn. I've got to go back and report more Aiko videos, as a matter of fact, because I think it's still up, which I'm just going to do because you made necrophilia porn of me. You've got to get got. Do you know what I mean? But, like, I also have other stuff to do, and I just forget to do it. So I fucking... The amount of time it takes is usually not worth it, because I've got to tile my fucking bathroom. And so you just fall by the wayside, because you are, and I really can't hammer this home enough, unimportant people. And I just don't give a shit. Oh my God, Roaring Lion. See, even Sweet Cheeks is fucking fired up, you know. But no, in the business, this is what we call just desserts. You're getting your just dessert. You're a bad person who makes enemies that you can't deal with, and then they fuck with you, and then you take L's and cry to people that don't give a shit about you. Like, when you post Tyler made a fucking false not even false copyright, a false strike, whatever, false strike against me, the only people that could care are Kiwi Farms and Spicy Chat. Just really roll that over. Outside of the cathedral, when you posted that on YouTube, the only people that could care are Kiwi Farms and Spicy Chat, both of whom just think that you're gay. in the most insulting and all of the uninsulting ways too. Oh, President Sunday, that guy's fucking gay. What happened? He got copy struck by some fucking psycho on YouTube? Did he lose everything? Okay, good. Fuck that guy. I hate that gay motherfucker. That's what your biggest supporters are gonna say, and that's fucking awesome. A true leftist. You have no one that is remotely on the left likes the guy. No one. No big creators, no mid creators, no small creators. Other creators that started beef with me. Bad Banana, huge channel, knows Sunday going back. Fresh starting a beef with me and trying to hit me as hard as he could. Bad Banana was. Still, Sunday came up, oh yeah, like fucking Bad Banana, go beat up Tyler. And then Bad Banana still says, no wait, fuck it, fuck the West Side Tyler thing. You, Sunday, are subhuman filth and you should kill yourself. Like, everyone hates you. And they should. You should hate yourself. You should really fucking hate yourself. It's good that you do. If I was you, I would fucking check out. I would be done. I couldn't imagine waking up and seeing your body in a fucking mirror. Much less trying to perceive the world with your brain. I would fucking, I would sailors knot the fuck out of this fucking life. What are you going to try to do? I'm going to try to ruin Tyler's reputation with the only people left that know or care about me. People on Kiwi Farms and Spicy Chat that call me gay and tell me to kill myself. It's fucking awesome. And I'll tell you what, I love that for you. I love that for you. You're in the best place for you. You're getting everything you've ever deserved. The world is the world that was always meant for you to exist in. This is great. I love it. And eventually you'll lose even this because I don't know what you mean. Like if I lose YouTube and I get kicked off of YouTube because people mass report me, I just do other shit. I'll start another channel underneath like a fake. I'll start a Lil Pepe channel and just do GTA roleplay. Okay, I don't give a fuck. I can do anything. You know what I mean? I'm on the other side of succeeding in life. Like I did a bunch of shit, and now this is like. You guys are side quests in my existence, but you're on the main storyline, and you're about to hit a fucking like an irretrievable game over state just because you're so fucking unlikable. Fucking awesome. Who are your biggest supporters? People that tell me to kill myself every day. What? I got 6 accounts I log into Kiwi Farms with. And I beg them to make a fucking, I beg them to make a thread about me because it makes me feel less alone to think that somebody's at least talking about me. It's like, oh shit. The last 6 people to have called me based are also lolicons. Fuck. God damn, that's harsh. Oh my God. My career is constantly getting side-railed and threatened with annihilation because people can clicky a button. You know how fucking awesome that is? You gotta get ended. Anyone out here, like President Sunday has said this. You can end the entirety of his life, his career, by clicky button. Isn't that fucking gnarly? I can go do shit. Probably most of you guys can go do shit. There's tons of stuff to do to make money, right? And like be able to live with yourself, be like happy, you know, raise a family, get a cat, go on adventures, volunteer in your community, really just like be a whole person. He has nothing but YouTube, and all you have to do to take it away from him forever is clicky button. Don't do it. Don't clicky button. Don't clicky button on me. I'll have to get a job. That's so God tier. You put all of your eggs in a basket that I don't even have to touch the basket. I can click 3 buttons and put your life at risk. I don't know why people don't do it more often. I guess because the same reason to me. It's just too much time to clicky button. It's like 6 buttons to click. I can go listen to him talk because I always forget to pause videos when I go click on someone's video to even just like get the link so I can go back to it later on. But Sunday's over is just like he's got the whole sword of Damocles hanging over his head, and down the fucking shaft of it is just printed the words "being a cunt" all the time. That's just hanging over his fucking head. And all you have to do to clip the cord is click a fucking button. Just report channel. Oh shit. Why this time? Well, I don't know. What are the myriad reasons? He's being a dickhead. Another transphobic thumbnail. Another transphobic thumbnail. How many have there been? Like fucking 5 this year. 3. He knows the count. He's gonna watch this and be mad. Oh, the count is this. The count is this. Drinking on stream, using alcohol, profanity, bullying, fucking going after people, doing brigading shit. There's a million fucking reasons. It's right there. You can, if you want, if you are also a psycho out there and you want to play with someone's actual life, like a child playing with like a fucking small woodland animal, some strong water-headed baby just playing with the offspring of some woodland animal getting ready to snap its neck in joy. You can do that with his whole career. Like by reporting his channel. And it'll fuck his life up. He said that on camera. His life will be over. He'll have to get a job. Everything he's ever done, all his life's work will be gone. Isn't that crazy? He gave me credit for it. I'll take it. What happened? Oh, I guess I ended his ability to monetize President Sunday, his channel, President Sunday, or he blames me for. I didn't even do it, but I'll take it. Because that's fucking hilarious, because that's all he has. If he talks to anybody, I remember he was talking to Chris Speaks or whatever, KRYS, when all that shit was going down, like February, March or something, oh, well, you know, I'm a much larger YouTuber. You just have 2K subs. I've got 20K. It means so, sub counts mean so much to him. He spent his whole life working to get 20K subs on one channel, and it, in the blink of an eye, it went away. It's like, yeah, you got your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but it's the one square that's a whiteboard. You don't even get to draw it in fucking marker. It's just ballpoint pen. He's just trying to furiously scrape himself back into existence. The funniest shit. I can't believe it. I would never give somebody that dub. If I ever got my channel shut down, I'd be like, fucking, I just go away. Oh, man, it worked? Yeah. No, I'm not telling you if it worked or not. Fuck off. Oh, my God. It's insane how legitimately privileged Sunday is to make money from creating stuff on the internet. He uses it to make the worst shit possible. He fucking ass, dude. Bye-bye to your attempted arch nemesis, Tyler. Yeah. Card is more respected on Kiwi farms compared to Sunday. I've seen that a number of times. I think people are using Card's face as PFPs on Kiwi farms now. Like, I know I've seen that, unless I just saw Card. Card might be... Shout out Card Posting. Card Posting might be talking to Joshua Moon soon. He might be talking to Jersh, the fucking Null, the guy that runs Kiwi Farms. Apparently streams too. Fucking why he does that, no one knows. But like Card made a series of videos pointing out that fucking Josh Moon is probably a fucking brony. Pretty fucking convincing evidence. And he got an email like, hey, you want to come on stream and chat about this? Like, fuck, dude. Card Posting shot to the top. I saw, dude. Fucking Alec Gunter fucked that one up, man. Just absolutely. Almost fucking got me clapped. Fucking. I was like, watching that shit. I was on Chud Logic's stream. And he started watching the fucking Sneed video. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? This guy's actually fucking funny as shit. I've never seen this Sneed stuff. He was just making fun of him and talking shit. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And digging on my shoe. You scared me so bad. Are my shoes in your way? I'm sorry. Sweet Cheeks has a tunnel through the curtains that are here to my right, and I had set one of my shoes down in it, and he was very upset by that. And Carter's just Joaquin Phoenix's teleport. No, yeah. But like he fucking he made that Gunter fucking response video, and that shit was phenomenal. And I had to dude, I did a mea culpa on that one. I have no regrets. I was like, this dude is a fucking killer. Fucking, I hope Card never fucks any of it up. God damn it. That very, very enjoyable content creator. Making old YouTube videos, I think, is really the case too. Sorry, my face is moving now because my shit. All my stuff's in different spots. God, now you guys can just see the horrible blemish on my face. Tyler, stop picking at your face. No. Embracing my I can say that. But yeah, other than that, Today, what are we doing today? By the way, Isaac, Isaac sent a super chat. Did I miss that? Viral. Isaac. If Noah was smart, he'd blame Stephen Bennell Jr. No, he's done. No one cares. Everybody in that community thinks it's fucking awesome. I already said this too. No one gives a shit about anybody getting fucking copy claimed, copyright struck, any of that stuff anymore. No one's in a good position to do it. They're not. Like, especially all of commentary, they all fucking stumped for Ethan Klein, and no one ever brought up the fact that he was doing that shit. You know what I mean? He was hard raw doxing fucking civilians and shit for Israel of all things. Like, Just lame grandpa reasons. And no one fucking was going to call him out on it. So, like, they don't have a fucking leg to stand on to complain about shit anymore. No one can complain about a fucking thing. Because, like, oh, what? You're upset that fucking, somebody said, oh, no. Tyler, fucking Westside Tyler was like, oh, yeah, I hate fucking AI. And if you put any of my shit in AI, I'll copy claim you. And then you fucking put my shit in AI and then I copy claimed you. Just like I stood on business with a thing that I warned you I would fucking do, but didn't touch anything else. Like, now you have to be performatively upset about that. But for the last week, you have been sucking Ethan Klein's dick dry while he's literally suing YouTubers for being mean to him. They're not even literally suing them, sending them, threatening to sue YouTubers and saying the only way to prevent yourself from being fucking financially annihilated is to give up your entire Reddit staff to random Reddit moderators. And then you're going to come back like, oh, Tyler's a fucking pussy and shit. Like, dude, the fucking video is still up. Just no one's watching it. That's why you didn't see it. I think a bunch of them were like, oh man, dude, Tyler took that video down. No, it's up. No one's watching it. No one gives a fuck. The entire drama community watched it and no one fucking cared. I still haven't watched it. People were telling me about it. I'm like, I tell myself I'm saving it for something, but I don't know if I'm ever going to fucking watch the goddamn thing. Because people keep telling me it's like 2 hours long. And it's like, it's me. So if it's not, and all my stuff's online, do you know what I mean? So it's like, is it just going to be videos I could watch of myself that you're intentionally misinterpreting with shitty music that's probably AI fucking played over the top of it? Then what the fuck is the point of watching it? You know, I don't fucking care. If I did it, I did it. If I did it and I like that I did it, because I'll probably say that I did, then I like that I did it and I don't care. That's it. Tyler, do you dox people? I will say anybody's name if they talk about me. If you make money to talk about me ever, and I can find your name out, I will say your name and who you are. There you go. If you talk about politics in my country, ever, and get paid for it, I will say your whole name and where you're from, too. And I will show a picture of you if I can find it. I've been saying that for like, what, a year and a half? How long is that fucking section? I don't know what the fuck. They even got Killjoy in there. That's probably the only part. Maybe I'll watch that. I'll watch a Killjoy interview. Yeah, dude. I've been thinking of the fucking Reverse Flash in my head as well. Oh, I've got to turn. Apparently, you have to turn streamer mode on. Sound. Mono, dialogue, effects. Game then? Streamer mode enabled. They have copyrighted music in this game. Don't worry, I know it's not on stream or on screen yet. I gotta get this up. Sweet cheek. What are you up to, guy? Why are you hanging out in front of that camera? How lucky Wazowski is. Wazowski just got a slug right in front of Checkers. Eating his feet. Yum, 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 yum. Oh yeah, I never watched Indie Mouse play fucking Fear and Hunger. Hunger.
Chewing or tree.
Dude, is my channel gonna get fucking claimed? If I watch a Gramuglia video on here? Because he's got fucking movie clips and shit? I don't care. I'll just take it down. Oh, he's got kibbles on his face. What a little guy. What a little fella. It would be a good background video, but it sucks ass, dude. I feel like I'm gonna want to like respond to stuff. It's like simultaneously, it's too much work. It's too fucking long. Should have made it 15 minutes. How do you get a 2-hour video on me? I don't even have 2 years. I haven't been streaming for 2 years yet. There's no way you've got a 2-hour video on me that's actually fucking like moves at a clip. What do I do here with this? Maybe I'll just have it in the background. We can just listen to him. No watching, just listen. No, we'll put that there. YouTube capture. Where's this? Hey, all right. Hey, all right. There we go. Oh god, that's so fucking loud. Hold on.
If you grew up in the 90s, Halloween was a special time of year, defined by cartoons laying out their spookiest annual specials. And McDonald's
man, I
luring
remember that
children in
fucking
with
Halloween.
cheap plastic toys. I associate the decade with scary stories for kids. A lot. But one day, I looked around and realized there were fewer kids going out to get candy and costumes in Halloween. And I blamed studios for that. Movies, games, book publishers, toy manufacturers, the works. Halloween, and by extension Friday the 13th when this video comes out, is increasingly more catered to adults than children. With expensive animatronics and haunts, let the kids miss out on all that, and that kind of sucks, you know? But by extension, the entire idea of children's horror has seen a serious dip and shift in the last few years. And I wanted to know why. Missing out on things I grew up with. What kind of horror are the kids into today? And like with all things, are we recalling a blip that once was because companies exploited creators for control? Or are we experiencing a new renaissance today because independent creators have taken the reins of creation themselves?
That's actually like a pretty solid point. This reminds me of the video we were watching like, what is it, like a month or so ago now? Oh shit, is this guy, is that a guy? Oh, that's a fucking sign. Where the lady was whining about fucking kids' books. I don't know if you guys remember that, but she was like, oh my god, these fucking kid books seem like they're for adults and not for kids. And when I was a kid, all the kid books... Oh, what the hell is that? Is that an alien? Did you guys see that? Bro, what the fuck? If you rewind, there was a big, dude, there was like a fucking UFO just shot across the sky right here. What the fuck was that? Dude, this game is so fucking intense. What was I saying? Oh yeah, anyway, this stupid bint. No, this lady, I can't remember what the fuck her name was, but she was whining about kid books. And how, like, the kids' books are for adults now. Because, like, she was looking at novelty kids' books. And they were targeted to, you know, adults. So it's like, oh my god, what if it was Alien? But she was taking it mad serious. I feel like this is, like, a better version of whatever that video is. It's still so... What, can I just drop these? Why do I have fucking... Dude, I've got 0.4 kilograms worth of passes. This game's so fucking bugged. But that was still just a very, very... Here. A very funny, fucking, stupid as shit video. And I liked it. I liked it. But, like, yeah, kids, horror for kids media. When I was a kid, I feel like we just had, like, a glut of it. All of a sudden, all at once, in the 90s. I don't know really before then, because, I mean, what was it? What did you guys have? Scooby-Doo? For you fucking, Gen Xers? You guys had the Scooby-Doo? I had Erie, Indiana, Goosebumps... Are You Afraid of the Dark? I mean, it was pretty fucking fire, but it was also just because, like, kids' entertainment television was starting to be a thing, too. And then, like, Goosebumps got fucking huge, and old fucking R.L. Stine was like, damn, dude, I can write fucking 15, 25 pages a day and become a fucking billionaire, and he did. And the only person that ever knocked him off his fucking throne after he was well done and good done fucking with it. Which fucking old Joanne Rowling's racist ass. Fucking talk about Kingsley Shacklebolt. Still one of the best fucking names of all time. I like to pick up sausages off corpses and eat them all the time. I do that shit in real life.
Ruin everything, and that creatives are able to salvage everything. So let's talk about it. But before we do, I want to take a minute.
Do I have any Ukrainians in chat, by the way? You need to earn your keep. If I look at any fucking Ukrainian words, I need you to translate them.
In a bunch of these. But what's great is that today I use some of the shampoo bars provided by our friends over at Kish. Kitsch is a self-financed accessory brand that's been around since around 2010.
My man just rearranged his whole fucking life for that plug.
Prices. And they provided me with some shampoo bars. I don't know if they're trying to tell me
I want
something,
you guys to know this fucking stream ain't brought to you by shit. Because I have not been grinding. I treat this fucking YouTube channel like a fucking afterthought. And I've still managed to basically, I think, maybe end like 4 people's careers. YouTube is a joke. It's easy. Anybody that struggles at doing YouTube or thinks it's hard is a fucking loser. If you have ever been like, man, I want to be a YouTube creator and I just can't hack it, consider self-harm as an alternative, because there's nothing you'll ever be able to do in your life. All you do is turn on cameras and talk. It's the fucking easiest shit in the world to do. I get paid. I fucking didn't do but like a third of the work or less that I did the last month. I haven't been working at this fucking channel at all. And people are like, I'm taking advantage of you. Like, I killed your channel. Like, dude, you caused one small setback and I'm not even paying attention and I'm still making thousands of dollars. It's a joke industry. It's a gag, it's a gaff, it's welfare for white people. Middle class whitey welfare. It's the easiest shit in the world. This stream, my stream today, is sponsored by Not Giving a Fuck. Hey, have you ever been working and you said, I'm working too hard? Try prescription strength Not Giving a Fuck, okay? It might fuck your life up, but for at least a little bit, you'll feel like you're in control because you'll say, nah, I ain't doing it. Nah, that ain't happening. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Find it today in your local alcohol aisle. Thank you very much for the $10. I got $10 while I'm talking about how little I don't want to work. Thank you, greatest favor, the 10 Canadian. We had so much good horror in the 90s. Buffy, Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Tales from the Crypt Keeper. Dude, Crypt Keeper's based.
Mailing me shampoo in the mail, but now...
If you're good at talking, I would be so boring. Most of the channels that are bigger than me only say like, oh, wow, yeah, oh,
They're
wow.
designed to help repair damaged hair and follicles and prevent split ends. Now, rice protein, and I didn't actually know this, it's shown to increase hair volume by over 20% if you use this at least 5 times in a row, I suppose. If you're looking to grow out your hair or improve density, this gives a nourishing clean that boosts that shine quality.
Clip your fucking fingernails, Ant.
And because it's a bar, you're not buying those huge plastic shampoos.
Why is fucking Ant got them grundle graters fondling this soap? What? Look at these fucking things.
And the
My man's
So where do you put these bars? Well, you got this self-draining soap dish that you can just suction onto the wall.
Yo, what the fuck? What is this gooner soap?
Usually contained in, which are at shine quality.
Look at these fucking, look at these grundle graters, bro. Fucking ants get it.
Improved density. This gives a nourishing clean that boosts.
You got crumbs all over the place.
It's free of silicons and sulfates, and because it's a bar, you're not buying those huge plastic containers that shampoo is only contained in, which reduces.
I'm so sorry, Anthony Gramuglia.
Both your body and the environment. So where do you put these bars? Well, you got this self-draining soap dish that you can
Anthony showed up for the soap commercial. He had them fucking little, them little fucking kitten claws just grinding that motherfucker up for a second before he got on screen.
Even on trips. I've been using their rice shampoo for a few days now.
He got bits everywhere.
I think it's making my hair look very shimmery, very shiny. I can definitely feel a difference in terms of how it looks and everything. And if you live outside the United States, don't worry.
Oh man, I guess anybody could be a hand model these days. I guess anybody could be a fucking hand model.
Outside this United States territory, don't worry. They'll send the product to you.
Anthony, if you watch this later, I love you. I'm so sorry.
If any of this sounds good to you, which it should because it's,
oh my God.
You need shampoo to clean yourself, I don't tell you, then you should know by now I wouldn't be talking to you about this unless I could give you a special deal. If you use my code Gramuglia at checkout, or follow the link in the description, or the QR code on screen, you will save 25% on your order. That's code Gramuglia, or the QR code on screen, or the link in the description below. Save now and clean yourself up with some rather good hair products. But now, back to the video.
Come on.
Also,
there
when you finish with my video, be sure to check out my friend Crimson Ender's video on
what the fuck?
Where he goes over some of the more
I swear to God.
franchise. I won't say too much, but he does analyze whether or not...
Dude, Stalker is the most unstable game ever. I clicked away for it for 2 seconds to do that fucking bit where I rewound. And it's completely, I can't play the game now.
Would you like one of my flowers?
My fucking
children's horror.
My cursor, it won't accept my cursor.
Well, the thing is, if you go back far enough, monster films were always seen as children's entertainment. Though we now see them as classics, many of the monster films from the 30s, 40s, and even 50s were made with children's showings in mind. Yes, granted, the original Dracula was marketed as a sweeping romance, but following the re-releases of Dracula and Frankenstein in the 30s, studios realized kids loved to come to these movies, and
I can't play the game.
Towards monsters in a way that was very interesting. They sympathized with them, related to them, saw some of themselves in these fiends, these outsiders. I can't. Abused, misunderstood. Boris Karloff and Vincent Price both cited young audiences as one of the main reasons why they kept doing these genre films. That and the continual paychecks, of course.
Hey, Vincent, you were really super tonight. Hey, let's give him another hand.
Oh, no, Kermit. Let me give you one.
Saving.
It was ultimately the popularity of the monster films among children that led people to believe all horror fiction was aimed for children, and they treated it as such. Any horror that deviated too far from the childhood audience was criticized by parents' rights groups, the government, etc. And nowhere was that more obvious than the case of DC Comics.
They get married, and after an offensively lurid description illustrated, of
see if I
course,
can
of
do
the
it like
couple's
this.
wedding night, the book shows how the bride murders her husband by chopping his head off with an axe. This comic book describes a sexual aberration so shocking that I couldn't mention even the scientific term on television. I think there ought to be a law against them.
I guess it's somewhat fitting for this channel that it all comes back to comic books. EC Comics was a small publisher who made their mark selling graphic horror stories. Tales from the Crypt with their flagship series, but there was also The Vault of Horror, The Haunt of Fear.
Yeah, it's definitely Bleeding Ram.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt is the catchier title. These stories were very famous for their grotesque imagery, cruel twist endings, and the horror host of the comic observing everything with a sadistic glee. Think Twilight Zone's Rod Sterling crossed with Freddy Krueger. Kids loved these comics, the grotesque imagery within, but parents' rights groups and the conservative American government hated them.
What about the effect of these comic books on the children?
All of our testimony from psychiatrists and children themselves show that it's very upsetting, that it has a bad moral effect, and that it
Strange.
directly responsible for a substantial amount of
Anti-comics
juvenile
crusade and seduction of the
delinquency and
internet.
child crime.
The
Strange
comics
brain
ran from
parts.
1950 before abruptly ending in 1955, thanks in no small part to the Comics Code Authority, a self-censorship board.
Is it full
created
screen
in
or
the wake of
borderless full
multiple
screen?
hearings
I don't know. I'm
following
going to
the
double check that
publication
real
of the
quick.
book Seduction of the Innocent, that claimed that comic books were responsible for inspiring violence, horror, and homosexuality in the youth of America.
Based.
DC Comics was a primary target, but also Wonder Woman and Batman were targeted by this same group, and by extension, the hearings that resulted
So I
from
love
this
when people
publication.
complain about
One
comic
researcher,
covers
Carol
today,
Till,
and they all used to
examined
look like
passages
that
from
one right
Seduction
there.
of the Innocent with the evidence Dr. Wortham had used to support his claims. Ms. Tilley, who later published her findings, discovered that the discrepancies between the book and the clinical research
this
were
shit.
quite numerous.
And while Amicus Productions did make a series of decidedly adult adaptations of EC Comics' body of work in the 70s, it was George Romero and Stephen King who revived the tradition of Tales from the Crypt in 1982's Creepshow, an anthology horror classic.
Creepshow, the most fun you'll ever have being scared.
Creepshow
Man,
is
dude,
an
that would be like
anthology
the
horror
ideal.
film about a
Those
comic.
old fucking.
Creepshow, the most fun you'll ever have being scared.
No, I'm doing too much.
Creepshow, the most fun you'll ever have being scared.
That's a hard voice to do, actually.
That future author Joe Hill's reading, filled with some gruesome horror, people growing plants out of their flesh and roaches erupting out of people's chests. It's all good stuff, and it's made to capture the vibe of the original Tales from the Crypt story. And it proved to be a big hit, so much so that studios wanted more. But let's hold off on seeing that for now. Creepshow will come back into play.
Let me in!
That being said, though,
Let me
Creepshow was
in!
more successful than the Amicus Tales from the Crypt adaptation of the 70s, in part because it captured the gruesome, over-the-top
Oh, let's see if
nature
this works
that these
now.
comics often featured. It was also not appropriate for children at all. Creepshow is not a kid's film, but a lot of people of the 80s and 90s, they might have seen it a little
Hey,
earlier
can I
than
turn the
probably
video
should
for
have,
you?
we'll
Yes.
say.
Steve believes it's much more frightening. When you know that something's behind the door, your imagination makes it a lot more frightening. Once you see the monster, you start dealing with it, and it's sort of resolved. So much of the time in Creepshow is spent saying, don't go in there, don't put your hand in that box, and it's more anticipatory than it is shock and sorrow.
But so far, Creepshow is not a story made for kids. But don't worry,
How do I get in there?
we'll get there soon enough. But this is not a tale defined solely by EC Comics, Crypt Keeper, and all that. Actually, there was one other comic, a strip from 1938 that lasted for several decades, that was just as influential. Charles Addams' Addams Family strip. In the mid-60s, the strip proved popular enough to get a family sitcom adaptation. The thing about the Addams Family is that it was a story about a spooky, unorthodox family living their eccentric life in a normal environment, blissfully unaware, or maybe blissfully accepting their own eccentricities.
For the next 2 weeks, you are forbidden, absolutely forbidden to play with your pet spider.
May seem harsh, Wednesday, but you'll be a better person for it.
It was a fairly counterculture story to the more cookie-cutter sitcoms of that era. Presented
I want to throw
six-
something in there. So I heard this before, all right, and I'm not gonna tell you that it's 100% of a fact or whatever because I never looked it up. It's one of those like, oh, okay, sure, why not? You know, cracked.com level fucking pop culture interpretation type deals. You know, but apparently what the Addams Family actually was first off, obviously, a comic strip, right? It was a daily comic strip. Oh, motherfucking God. Who left all that shit right there? But it was about, like, the whole, like, purpose of it was actually lampooning the, like, old money rich Europeans that had started moving to America to live in, like, rich American neighborhoods and stuff, and their weird fucking customs and, like, behavior. Because, you know, they're just, like, they're a bunch of fucking, like, I mean, think about this. Rudy fucking What If Autist got this weird in like 2 seconds. He's like an average European rich person. Like they're the most not like us individuals ever. And so they started moving to America. in the like 20s, 30s, and 40s as Europe became like increasingly socialist and or fascist to escape socialism and or fascism, and moving for a variety of reasons, and moving to America. You know what I mean? And so they, you know, they start coming over here and shit, and they're just weird as fuck, I guess. And people are like, what in the fuck is wrong with these motherfuckers? Like, what in the fuck is wrong with these fucking people? Like, what? You know? Hello, because they're not like a normal like foreigner that comes in, lives like near you. It's like, oh, who is this guy? Oh, that's fucking Skadoosh. All he does is grow eggplants and make a bunch of fucking eggplant soup. Like that dude is fucking cool as shit. He smells real weird because he loves these fucking spices he cooks with. But I don't know, he's all right. His kids hang out with my kids. But then like the rich ones would come by and be like, we don't associate with women of culture. You know. I do not appreciate the way that your priest speaks with his third tongue inverted. Like, what the fuck are you? What is happening here? What is this? Can I just jump? Can I just jump these fucking windows or what? Is this a non-jumping window? Or what? Wait, what the fuck is going on here? I want to go through the door. I want to go through the door because I think that there might be some shit over there. Maybe there's a key hidden right here. But that's for what it was. And it was just making fun of like old money rich weirdo fuck Europeans that were moving to America. You know, like counts and I'm not talking about like anywhere, not even like I had a business in fucking Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic or Slovakistan, wherever the fuck. You know what I mean? It was just like legitimately like actually fucking insane people. who were moving here, and they were like lords and ladies, just a series of fucking actual like count fucking choculas, choculating it up. Let me in. Oh, you see? Come on. Slavjank, I can never tell because it just feels like that should be how you get into the building. Slavs are like, yo, dude, fucking do it, dude. Do an absolutely absurd and like legitimately kind of stupid fucking 3/4 jump onto this fucking air conditioner. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. I swear to God, I get over here and I can't open this fucking door. I'm gonna kill somebody. Ah! I don't know if that's the way you're supposed to do this or not, but also you can't really see from over there very well. But I'm taking credit for that. I am the shit. Dude, these bullets are so fucking dog shit for the Makarov, you can't even fucking sell them. Alright, let's just watch this video.
Sees on TV. Though it never broke the nuclear family structure. I mean, they're weird and kooky, but they can't be black or anything like that. Not in the 1960s.
Was there a fucking
but
ladder?
It was still fairly revolutionary for its time,
look what they did to me.
The stereotypical
Look what they did to me. Look what I did. I did all that.
The family hierarchy that
there was a ladder,
so prominent
bitch.
on television at the time.
Who the
the
fuck?
Addams Family,
Why are you
I
looking
think,
at me?
proved popular because a lot of people can relate to living an odd little life with the people that you love. Again, same appeals to gothic monsters from the 40s and 30s and 50s.
Sleepy time.
I guess some studios noticed the ratings because shortly after the Addams Family show came out, came the Munsters. The Munsters was actually for a time more popular than the Addams Family, thanks in part due to it being syndicated on television more often and having more early revivals than the Addams Family.
You also had Mr.
The Addams
fucking
Family did, of course, have that cartoon adaptation. But
can I go down that rod?
in this era of monsters being friendly for the whole family, something magical happened. Scooby-Doo. The animated series became the family-friendly monster show for kids from its debut in the late 60s to, well, today, really. And for a while, it was the only major show to exist in this space. They even crossed over with the animated Addams Family show, which, yes, featured future Academy Award-winning actress Jodie Foster as Pugsley.
Pugsley, darling, what were you doing down there?
Digging my way to China.
China? How adorably naive.
Hi, Pugsley. Sorry, Ling Poo. You'll have to go home.
And also, my friend Crimson Ender would potentially stab me in Minecraft if I didn't
fucking Chinese
also
kid's name was Ling Poo.
Cartoon from 1980 called Rat Pack. And draw attention to this Dracula, right here. His expression.
I am serving you.
And so we have the Addams Family and we have Creepshow. But the final leg of this pre-children's horror boom that we need to talk about is Steven Spielberg.
Well, the great similarity is the terror is relentless. And the terror is unseen in both movies. In Jaws, you see the terror at the end, and of course in Poltergeist, you also see the terror at the end.
Steve believes it's much more frightening. When you know that something's behind the door, your imagination makes it a lot more frightening. Once you see the monster, you start dealing with it, and it's sort of resolved.
Spielberg invented the modern blockbuster with Jaws, changing how we pre-produced and created media, how we marketed it. For the summer season, Spielberg would constantly flirt with the idea of doing a horror film after making Close Encounters of the Third Kind, with a script he wrote called Night Skies. It's about a family besieged in their home by alien invaders.
Do you guys remember?
It's full of mischief and horror and true.
Does anybody remember the last? I can't remember which one it was. Now I'm saying I don't fucking know. The last fucking Spielberg. There's 2 Spielberg movies that came out. I can't remember. I used to be a Spielberg fiend when I was a kid, but then I realized I was actually just a George Lucas fiend for when George Lucas didn't suck. So like fucking Indiana Jones and shit. I did a whole book report when I was a kid on fucking Steven Spielberg. It was the 90s, right? So he was like tip top. Just being like, you know, fucking 3rd, 4th grade. Y'all want to talk about Schindler's List? Yeah, it was the only one I hadn't seen, of course. Hey, is there a dead guy in here? Fuck yes. Hey, what's up, buddy? That's where I would be, too. It's a good fucking hole to climb into. Get you. Dead check. Alright, he's gone. But like the last 2 movies he made were not they were like nothing burgers. Like really pretty, completely fucking devoid of anything interesting. I can't remember even if I saw him. I mean, I know I looked at him, but it was like one of them was Super 8 or something like that, I think that was his, at least. Oh, fucking. Dude, just fuck off. I don't feel like dealing with you right now. Stupid fucking invisible cocksucking piece of shit. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, there you are. Hi. This is free candy. Free candy. No? Additional piece of free candy. Oh, that hurt. Made me go deaf for some reason. But yeah, that shit looked like ass. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like he had it anymore. But I feel like you should probably stop making movies after you make, like, Schindler's List. Like, I don't think you need to make another film. You're probably good at that. You know what I mean? Because it's fucking Schindler's List. Like, you can't go make some fucking, like, happy-go movie. Like, what about these kids running around? Like, you know what? I can't compare it to some of his better works. Like, which one? Like, the fucking one about the Holocaust? You know, it was, like, such a cultural moment that, like, you know, you could... Some dickhead that fucked a little kid who was on a show and talked about you can't make out in a movie the Schindler's List. You know what the funniest part about that? That's old Seinfeld bit. You know what the funniest part about that bit is? The original joke went, because my girlfriend's too young to be in this movie because it's 18 and up. And at the time, Gerald Seinfeld was dating a 14-year-old. Or maybe she was 16. I think she was 14 though. Some big bazoombas having a literal child. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I know that because people were commenting on it in like Life magazine or whatever the fuck. Like, hey, you check this out. This is Jerry Seinfeld picking his hot fucking teenage girlfriend up from high school. What kind of hijinks are they gonna get into? Like, I don't know. Maybe they're gonna put some rubber bands on her braces and get her ready to learn to drive. Hopefully. Luckily, she lives in New York, I guess, because they got a subway or whatever the fuck. Where are you? I know you're over here. Dentro. Dentro. Нет. Dentro. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh! Break them ankles. Break them ankles. Can I... Break them ankles. Kobe! Break them ankles. Kobe! Yeah. Yeah, that's just rough, isn't it? That shit's fucking rough. You know what else sucks? Bad conduct. Oh! Get fucking, look at this. Alright, Bad Empanada. Send the clip to Bad Empanada. Look. I'm doing a war crime. Bad Empanada, I'm just like you. Look, Bad Empanada, it's a secretary. He clicked the button in a spicy way. This guy's going to hell.
Disturbing material, but it never got filmed. Night Skies was divided into 2 projects, E.T. and Poltergeist.
I'm not kidding about the Jerry Seinfeld thing either. It's actually very sus. I'm making light of it, but it's fucking gross.
Not Spielberg. Though Spielberg was heavily involved in the creative
because he was like 38. He's my
contrary
age.
to popular belief, he did not.
And on her TV, like
Poltergeist proved very popular.
Like, let me just fucking really hammer home how weird this fucking Jerry Seinfeld shit was. This man, when he started dating this child, was famous because he had been on TV pretty much since she was like before she hit puberty. More than like, which when you're 17 is what, 4 to 6 years. Right? So like that girl was a child that had never had a sexual thought ever and been watching him on the television. What's going on here? Oh, shut up, kid. We're watching fucking Seinfeld. No soup for you. Shrinkage, you know what I mean? You hear the little jokes and stuff, and then like one day, I don't know, she's in algebra and fucking he comes by with the child catcher. Oh, that's a really good one. Oh, she's well developed for a 17-year-old. No, I wonder what her feet smell like. Where the fuck I don't know how the fuck you meet a 17-year-old in your 30s. It has like, was she going to school with his kid is the only thing I can guess. Cause like, how the fuck else do you find, where are they? So I was at the grocery store buying ice cream and she was with her dad. I said, why don't you hit the road, Jack? I want to talk to this young filly. Weird fucking guy. What a weird fucking dude, man. So bizarre. Such a like, and then he's just like walking around with her and shit. Like, they call it statutory. I say, I call it mandatory. I didn't come up with that line. Kid Rock did. In a song I can't remember the name of that was in the well-known at the time children's movie. Fucking, I don't know, actually, I can't remember. Osmosis Jones. Guys, you guys remember the movie Osmosis Jones from the 90s? Bill Murray, there's a movie, and Bill Murray eats a deviled egg off the ground. And he's the most disgusting man alive. Bill Murray is with his daughter at the zoo, near like the monkey cage or some shit, and fucking he drops the deviled egg on the ground. And then he picks up the deviled egg and eats it, of course, because he's the most gross man of all time. And when he eats this deviled egg, he gets infected with Thrax, who is a black dude virus with dreadlocks and shit. Or he actually might have like virus. He has viral like cornrows and like neck dreads. It's the cool. He looks cool as shit. And he's like, you know, Ebola ain't got shit on me. This motherfucker, I swear to God, dude, this movie is real. Osmosis Jones is a white blood cell. He's a dog shit cop because he works for Dave, right? And that's like everyone calls it like, yeah, we're in Dave, we're in his body. Go down to Dave's balls and shit. There's all sorts of jokes about Bill Murray being ugly and fat and dying of being a fat, ugly, fucking disease beast. Like, I'm not even fucking kidding. The movie's mean as shit to him. Look at these fucking brain scorchers, bro. What the fuck is even over in that? What's over in them weeds? Is there there's some good shit over there? What's that mean? Dude, this Velas detector doesn't. I don't know. I picked this shit up right before I started stream. I have no idea how this is a fucking ghost detector from Ghostbusters. But this fucking movie, there's a whole city, right? This is what they did back in the day, all right? Before we had Pixar doing cool Pixar shit, all of our like kid movies was like, it's got to be a detective thing, and then like something that's not normally a city is actually a fucking city. You're like, what does that mean? I'm like, it means exactly what you think it means. So if it's like a car, the inside of the whole car is a city, and then we make jokes about different parts of the city. There will always be, because it's the 90s, some sort of fat gangster version of somebody, because we all loved Italian-American stereotypes in the 1990s, and then fucking Sopranos did it too good, and we don't do that anymore. I don't even know where I'm running in this game, but I'm having a good time. I'm gonna go here to this unknown stalker's stash in the Firelands. And so this Osmosis Jones, right, is Chris Rock, and he's, I'm a white blood cell, running around trying to figure out, like, I think that we've been infected by the craziest ultra infection ever, and Thrax is just walking around being crazy and shit. He's like he's a virus, but he got a whole trench coat on. Like, he looks like he's a bad dude. Like, if you had to get infected with anybody, like, Thrax would be the guy. I'm surprised. There's got to be some slash fiction about Thrax out there, like, and then he got inside my white blood cell and multiplied. You know what I mean? Fucking Thrax, dude. I can't believe I remember that dude's name. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. But anyway, Bill starts dying because Thrax is in there, and he's like, I've got to get up to the nucleotides and butt-fuck the nucleotides and turn the nucleotides or some shit inside out. Once I put my DNA inside this thing, then your whole guy world is done, blah, 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 okay? And fucking Osmosis Jones sucks, and they start getting a fever and all this sort of shit. Whatever. They take a fucking cold pill, and it's basically... It's Buzz Lightyear, but if Buzz Lightyear was fucking like drugs. Like, what if the movie answers the long held question, what if Buzz Lightyear was drugs? Like, what would we do? Okay, I'm glad that wasn't. Fuck yeah. And so he's lame, right? He's fucking lame as shit and all that. I feel like there's something supposed to like bounce up here. Can I? Nah. So he meets Osmosis Jones, and it's like, Osmosis Jones is he's not by the book, but the cold pill is, because he's a drug. So pharmaceutical companies are based, obviously. And they start hanging out, and they go through this whole body on wacky hijinks. One of the parts I always remember is that, like, the fucking seedy underbelly of this disgusting Bill Murray character is his fucking ingrown toenail. And he has an ingrown fucking toenail. Like, you're gonna go down to talk to the fucking the gangsters, like the Italian American stereotypes in his rank ass ingrown fucking toenail, because he's the most disgusting man alive. The most horrifyingly profane individual to have ever fucking existed. And they go on the whole thing. They go down to his disgusting toe. I'm surprised he doesn't have like a fucking ingrown ball hair. Go on down, hey, Osmosis Jones. Look, I want to help you with this Thrax thing, but I'm booked up till Tuesday. But my brother's working on the plastic ball from when he got testicular torsion and he lost his left nut. Go down to the plastic ball and meet up with Mary Old Sperm. Whatever. And eventually they go to this place and there's a fucking nightclub. And I think maybe the nightclub is where this is happening. Maybe it's in the toenail, maybe it's not. But the main act at the fucking nightclub is what is this, fucking Ukrainian Auschwitz? What the fuck is happening? Just cut that out, by the way, please. Go in here real quick. If I can hide up on top of something so I can finish my thought before I get distracted. They go into this fucking thing and there's music playing, and Kid Rock is like, I don't know, like Kidney Stone or some shit like that. So I don't know, maybe they're in the kidneys or something. You know, and it's actually Kid Rock, and he's singing a song, and the song is a whole real song in real life. So it could be, you know, it could be anything. Like, it could be any part of the song that you use, because they only have to have him sing for 12 seconds. It's every, like, cantina scene you've ever seen. They walk in, it sets the scene, and he's singing. And what he's singing is, like, she's 14, I like 'em 14. Some say that is statutory. I call that shit mandatory. And it's like, what the, bro, homie, what the fuck did you just say? What? And that's in the movie. Some guys call that, some folks call that statutory. I call that mandatory. Hey, yo, what? And I just know fucking Jerry Springer or Jerry Seinfeld fucking, I guarantee you he took his, like, fucking 17-year-old girlfriend to say, hey, yeah, I want to go see a cartoon. I heard you kids love cartoons. I like this one. This is good. It's the Kid Rock. Oh, I love Kid Rock. We have a lot of shared interests. Ah, oh, fuck. I died. Young ladies. I like, that's what it is. Oh my God, you're right. The line is, young ladies, I like them underage C. Some folks call that statutory. I call that shit mandatory. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. I feel like if you laid that track down, I might fucking, like, I might put a pill in you in the studio. You gotta fucking tap. Fucking Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my God. No, wasn't it a huge zit on his face when they get into a fight? It pops and the pus sprays on Dave's daughter's teacher. That probably happened too. He is the most disgusting man. If you can imagine a disgusting, non-fatal thing that's wrong with this guy, he's probably got it. He's like the fucking guy. Bill Murray's character in this shit. He's the walking operation guy. You know, like Operation. Fuck, I'm all the way back here. That sucks. You know, like Operation, right? And you got all the little things. Imagine it's all the Operation spaces, but instead of, like, you know, water on the knee, funny bone, it's like fucking like blue balls, weirdest giant fucking zit you've ever seen in your fucking life. Aw, come on. By the way, I'm playing on ultra fucking, like, max difficulty, so if I get wrecked, just understand it's because I'm bad at the game, but the game's also actually hard. Get save scummed. And yeah, and I don't know where to go after that. That shit is fucking hilarious. Giant fucking zit, ingrown toenail, eating fucking deviled eggs off the ground in by the monkey exhibit in the fucking zoo. The fucking goddamn show is so fucking rank, man. It is. I don't know how it ever existed. I really don't.
Especially with families. Poltergeist, of course, is a story about a family attacked by spirits in their home that travel through the television and through the ground, because, of course, their house was built on a burial ground of some kind. You know, it's always a thing. It's always
I travel through the ground.
You can't just build the house somewhere unoccupied, naturally.
You son of a bitch, you left the bodies and you only moved the headstones! You only moved the headstones!
But Poltergeist proved very popular, especially with families, and studios took notice again, including Spielberg himself, who would then go on to produce several more of the films we're going to talk about today. You're going to see a lot of names reoccurring in this video. Spielberg's one of them, especially early on. And again, I don't want to pretend kids' horror didn't exist before 1982. Obviously, there was The Watcher in the Woods, Disney's cult classic horror film that I genuinely think is pretty unsettling. Rankin-Bass, famous for their Christmas specials, also tried their hand at Halloween specials for families. The fact that these aren't family traditions should speak volumes about their quality. And of course, Ray Bradbury made numerous Halloween stories for kids that were adapted, including The Halloween Tree and Something Wicked This Way Comes. Also, Stephen King's Carrie kinda counts. Kinda. I mean,
Was
that's
there
more
also a
for
Saturday
adults
morning
and older
cartoon for
teens than
Osmosis
kids,
Jones?
but,
There was. They
I
didn't
mean,
get Chris
kinda
Rock
sort
back
of.
for it somehow.
Around the 70s, horror, once a genre made with kids in mind, became more adult, as I mentioned before. Night of the Living Dead, The Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Chris Rock
all
actually got
way
invited
too
to be on
scary
the
for young
ultimate.
kids.
Chris Rock actually, after that movie, got invited to be on the ultimate fucking Whitey welfare setup. He got officially invited into the true Whitey welfare, which is being a fucking constant contributor to Adam Sandler projects. Like, what do you do? Do you work? Nope. I got 6 jokes. Bro, I fucking jumped on that. Out of your mind. So good for him. Good for him. That's what I'm saying.
But Halloween carved a new demographic. Horror for teenagers. So if horror became a thing for teens, what did kids watch? Because all the cool kids were watching Halloween, Friday the 13th, and that became mythologized.
I actually disagree with that
in
point a little
culture
bit. I'm
around
gonna let him
kids.
talk for a second.
But what did they have? Let's go back to Creepshow. Creepshow. The film was made by Laurel Entertainment, but distributed by Warner Brothers, and WB owns the rights to Creepshow. At least owned them for the time. Now, Laurel wanted to do more with the idea of Creepshow and more with this creative talent of King and Romero, but they figured, forget the name. Warner Brothers can keep it. Let's take the same idea as Creepshow and make it into a syndicated show in the style of the old EC
Dini Pro.
Tales from the Dark Side. Delicious, spine-tingling chills brought to you by the producers of Creepshow.
I told you I ain't dead so many times I'm blue in the face.
Join us each week, if you dare, for Tales from the Dark Side.
Tales from the Dark Side, Sunday at 11:30.
Enter
they just had
Tales
a guy for
from
that
the
one.
Dark
Hey,
Side,
Tales from the Dark Side.
A fascinating project that brought back Romero, King, Tom Savini, the makeup effects artist of, the Creepshow, and even some new creative talent.
Tom Savini's. Come on, Ant. You can't. That's not a light name. That's Tommy Savini. All right. That's old TikTok Tommy. All right.
Such as a young author named Clive Barker.
I have seen the future of horror. His name is Clive Barker.
If that's a Stephen King quote, by the way, if that's a Stephen King quote, he has not been writing forever. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep pausing you, Ant, because I'm having a good fucking time talking about this shit. Fuck, dude, call me up, all right? You need some fucking horror shit. Hook me up, okay? I've seen at least 3 seasons of The Last Drive, and I can pretend like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Shit. Woo! Hit from that grenade. Stephen King is ass at recommending stuff. He just recommends everybody's books now. I think they pay for it. What does he say? Hey, do I got any Ukrainians in chat? Ukrainians. Ukraina. Ukraina. Slava Ukraina. Slava Ukraina. What does he fucking say? Hikomi hey bid. Hikomi hey bid. What does he say? Does. Get that. Hikomi hey bid and a little smiley face. Clive Barker goated. Clive Barker is fucking pretty tremendous. Have I read The Hellbound Heart? I think I read that, and then I completely forgot about it. Because I think I was getting ready to do it. Coldwater Canyon is fucking the best. Or is it Coldwater Canyon? Cold Heart Canyon? That shit's fucking mad good. Just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That shit is so fucking good.
We have such sights to show you.
Because the show was made for TV, it wasn't extremely graphic, which I'm sure limited Barker's creativity quite a bit, but rather it was suggestive, spooky more than scary, funny more than horrific and disturbing. And it was a success. Not a mega hit, but it was a model for a ton of shows that followed. As an anthology series, the episodes varied in terms of quality and in terms of focus. Some were more adult, but many were about kids in scary situations. The pilot episode, for example, Trick or Treat, directed by Romero himself, perfectly captures the show's vibe. If you want to see what the show's like, watch the first episode. It's Halloween in a small town. This miserly old man basically owns everything, and everyone is indebted to him. But every Halloween, he has a contest, a challenge to the children of the town. If a kid can make their way through his haunted house and find his collections of hidden IOUs, all the debt in town will be erased. And we see kids hunt through this house, and the old bastard just torments them, teasing them, mocking them, which makes it all the more satisfying when someone else shows up to the house to take up his challenge. Really, the only thing that separated this from an original Goosebumps episode, aside from Goosebumps not being a decade out at this point, is the vision of hell at the end. It's a little intense for children, but it's so satisfying to watch. And it's not so scary that a kid couldn't watch it. It's just a little more intense than it probably should be. Tales from the Dark Side's success led eventually to the iconic HBO series Tales from the Crypt, a truly twisted reimagining of the original EC comic stories, now unshackled by syndication restrictions or censorship boards. Now at the same time, Steven Spielberg, remember him? He's back now. And he produces a
shout out that guy's
called
family, for real.
Gramuglia, which becomes a hit, sparking a wave of boundary-pushing movies where kids deal with grotesque monsters, including the Monster Squad,
fuck! I got paid back in full.
Critters, Little Monsters, and of course, Beetlejuice. It's showtime.
Bro, did we get a fucking Little Monsters?
Tim Burton is now seen very cynically today, but at the time, he existed as pseudo-counterculture, a voice for the oddballs and outcasts in society who loved the gothic and dark. Now, Burton never made a true horror film until Sleepy Hollow in the late 90s, but his films were undeniably inspired by Hammer horror, Roger Corman's Edgar Allan Poe cycle, and German Expressionism.
Dude, finding out that people didn't like... Oh, what? No. Oh, because this stupid fucking Flash got me. Dude, this goddamn game, I swear to God. I'm going straight in. I'm going straight in. The fuck was I even gonna say? I'm just shocked by the fact that I'm all the way back here. Depressing. Depressing. I'm also very, very tired. What in the fuck was I saying? I can't remember. Doesn't matter now.
His protagonists are basically Cesare from Caligari, for example. But Burton had always had ties to children's media. He used to be a Disney animator, working on films like The Fox and the Hound, but Burton's aesthetic proved popular enough for studios to allow a certain family to come out of retirement. Now, here's the thing. The Addams Family had fallen off during the 80s because while The Munsters was widely syndicated, Addams Family wasn't. Talks started for a new adaptation, and they approached Tim Burton to direct. He didn't want that in return, but the studio still decided to make their film with a Tim Burton aesthetic, resulting in the iconic duo of films, The Addams Family and Addams Family Values. The films of the Addams Family also introduced Christina Ricci to the mix. Expect a lot of her as we go through the cycle too. She comes back a lot. Anyway, the Addams Family films
my first
were
like
pretty
mental
successful,
creepy
and so
girlfriend.
That meant the floodgates were open. What other family-friendly, spooky comics could the studios adapt next? Preferably one with Christina Ricci in there. Oh right.
You guys are disgusting, obnoxious creeps.
Thank you. Casper the Friendly Ghost. Who made that one again? Oh, it's Spielberg. Spielberg's back again. We have to bring Spielberg in here somewhere. Also, little known fact, I didn't realize until researching this, J.J. Abrams did an uncredited rewrite of Casper the Friendly Ghost.
It's probably the ending sucks.
I guess that explains the film's literal mystery box about the whole movie, but I digress. Now, is Casper the Friendly Ghost as good as the Addams Family films? Probably not, but it is a really fun family film about ghosts that has some surprisingly emotional beats in it.
Surprisingly emotional beats? What, you mean the fucking part where we slow the entire fucking Casper the Friendly Ghost fucking story down to nothing, and then Casper talks about how he died in a snowstorm because he got cold and sick? I still remember being irritated as fuck by Casper. I liked it, but there was a whole like romantic subplot in it that fucking sucked dick. People are always trying to get kids to make out in the 90s, which I'm realizing now is probably why so many fucking people my age are like completely fucking cooked when it comes to like what is and isn't appropriate. Because if you guys remember Casper, dude, I want to fucking talk about Casper. Dude, fucking Gramuglia, fucking hit me up next time, dude. I will fucking yammer about this 90s shit. As a matter of fact, never mind. You can just watch me talk about it or something. I don't fucking know. I'm not gonna let you get a word in edgewise. That fucking film. That fucking movie, dude. Okay, Casper has one of the best sets and, like, production designs ever. The entire Casper house is a fucking series of Rube Goldberg machines that are fucking sick. I loved it. That's why I would rewatch the movie again and again and again and again on VHS tape, getting in trouble for fast forwarding through other parts that were fucking stupid, which is the entire romance subplot. Because, like, you could get fucking make eggs, and the egg thing, it's like fucking flinging eggs across all this bullshit. And then when you finally get to the fucking basement, it's like the fucking Goonies. In the basement of this giant mansion is a fucking, like, 10-story roller coaster resurrection machine. They eventually use it to bring Bill fucking Pullman back from the dead, which is like, you know, why even bother? We wouldn't do that in real life. No, it's not even, yeah, is it Jeff? Not Jeff Daniels. Maybe it is Bill Pullman. I can't fucking remember. But he's one of the fucking 90s dad's ass, like, I don't know. He's divorced as shit, you know what I mean? Fucking divorced fucking loser with his loser fucking kid who's a weirdo at school, but then she's whatever. And so she, like, starts fucking falling in love with Casper. But Casper's just a ghost, and then Casper's three fucking Fatso, Skinny, and Stinky, or whatever the fuck their names are. Most 19 fucking 20s ass names. What are you three guys? Oh, I'm fucking fat, he's fucking skinny, and that one fucking stinks. Farty Larry and fucking Farty Larry and Mo, whatever the fuck they're called. And I fucking love those guys. And they get up to hijinks. There's a bunch of 90s fucking, like, adult TV references. They got the guy that talks like, he talks and sounds like fucking Pedro Pascal does now. He looks like an actual Pedro Pascal character. Fucking, oh yeah, no, I don't know, man. I could do it maybe like $10, $30. Yeah, you know, I've done a few resurrection or two in my time. You know, it's resurrection, buddy. Like, this is what fucking comedy was. But the whole time in this fucking movie, they have this goddamn dog shit. I really can't hammer this home enough. Dog shit fucking romance going on between the fucking Casper the Friendly Ghost and this girl. And they're like falling in love and shit. But like Casper in my mind is supposed to be 8 years old. Do you know what I mean? Because like I think that's how old I was when I watched the film. So I'm like, you know, these supposed to be like an 8-year-old. And she's like a loser, like some fucking, like one of my girl cousins who's fucking older than me, like fucking, going boys and shit. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, there's roller coasters and resurrection machines. Like, what are we focused on? Like, I gotta fucking sit down and, like, this chick wants to, like, fucking teenage bang fucking Casper. She's trying to get fucking, she snooks up on Casper at the dance, right? And they're like floating and shit, and it's like this romantic scene. It's like, bro, this is Casper the fucking Friendly Ghost. What is happening? What the fuck is going on? What in the fuck is going on? And then like he's got to sit down like, and I was on my sled, and it was cold, and it was dark. I was having so much fun. I didn't go in, and then I got sick, and then I died. And then my dad lost his mind and created the coolest house ever, and he's gone. But my fucking uncles are still here that are weird degenerates. My weirdo fucking degen uncles are here, and they like maybe killed a guy. And they just haunt the house. And they what are they? They're a series of fat jokes and like threats. Come on, Casper. Yeah, Casper. Why don't you ever want to scare anyone with us? 'Cause he's a little baby. Whatever the fuck. But they're a blast, right? Like, I just want to see these ghosty hijinks. And they're like, no, we got to slow this down. Look, the broads want to see this chick make out with this ghost. Like, that chick is fucking, like, 12. Like, what are you talking about? She's going to make out with the ghost. He's beautiful. He's going to turn into a beautiful boy, and he's going to make out with her. It's going to be gorgeous. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, wait. What if Casper the Friendly Ghost had legs and could fuck? What are you talking about? What is this fucking film? Casper the Friendly Ghost was absolutely fucking chuffed, dude. It was cracked out of its mind. Because I was like so excited. I like creepy shit. I like Goosebumps. I turned into the fucking scary guy, right? I scare real life people now. fucking terrified of me. It's fucking awesome. And people like spend their whole day fucking worried I'm gonna fucking pop out of their closet. I love it. This fucking goddamn show. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be ghosts, and then you see it. Prepare for adventure. Casper the Friendly Ghost. It eats fucking roller coasters and juice, ghost juice, and fucking, oh man, what's happening here? Like, oh hey, that's the real Ghostbuster. Look, it's Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd's here. He's a Ghostbuster. He's signing off on this. You know who you gotta call? Someone else. Wah, wah, wah. And he runs away. Look, this is my tile job right now. This is what my fucking bathroom looks like. Fuck. Ooh, I want some fucking baked apples too. Fucking Casper the Friendly Ghost. But at the end, they're like, alright. Her dad dies, okay? So, like, a spoiler for a movie that came out in the 90s. Christina Ricci's dad fucking dies because of hijinks. He gets, okay, so the movie's got a bunch of adult shit. I just remember this. His wife is fucking dead. Cue the laugh track. His wife is fucking dead. And he gets big sad about how he's an unfuckable schlub and a failure of a father or something, and they get him shit-faced. And he's hanging out with the ghosts, and I think that they were like, we're gonna off him. We're gonna fucking, like, it's a kid's movie. They get the dad blotto shit-faced to kill him. And then they lose track of him while they're hanging out with him, and he falls into a fucking gigantic pit. Like, that's behind the house. Like, it's oh, what happened? And he goes, and he's dead. And then he shows back up, and his daughter's like, Dad, what the fuck? He's like, oh man, look. I guess I'm a ghost. Oh shit, I'm sorry for letting you down by becoming a fucking ghost. It's just the fucking, just the best shit ever. He's just, I'm sorry, Christina Ricci. Oh, I just gotta do it as Juliet. I'm so sorry. Oh, Christina Ricci, I'm so sorry I became a ghost. Oh, fuck. And then they're like, fuck, we gotta bring someone back. She's like, I can't live without my dad. Oh, we got enough Jesus juice to do a fucking unholy ceremony and fucking resurrect somebody. We're gonna bring someone back from the fucking dead using the coolest click chat machine ever. Who are we gonna do? Oh, are we gonna bring back the 12-year-old kid whose life was cut perilously short, or the fucking alcoholic stooge who fell into a fucking ravine? You gotta bring my dad back. Could you bring back my dad? I need him to fucking sign my homework or some shit. You can just be dead and watch me get older. I'm gonna get my fucking shit. I'm gonna become an adult and get my shit fucking blown out back there. Casper, could you leave the room? I'm 22 now, and I'm bringing my boyfriend from college home. He's about to fucking turn my shit inside out. Oh, that's okay. Fucking. I gotta fucking breathe here. God damn, dude, that fucking movie. So fucking stupid. And so the whole thing is like, yeah, he can be alive for like 2 seconds because Halloween magic or some shit, you know. Stupid shit. It's Halloween magic, and fucking he'll come back. He gets to not be dead, and then they get to kiss, and it's so weird because it's like, what happened? My first kiss was accompanied by an act of necromancy, which is just fucking awesome. Like, stupidest fucking film ever, but it had such good set design. Okay, go ahead.
It has its Spielberg charm, even though Spielberg himself didn't direct it. It's fun in a campy, gothic way. And of course, I cannot stress enough, the sets in these movies are incredible. These are some of the best sets for any film for children. This, The Addams Family, it's influential, it's amazing, I love it, it's just fantastic. Sadly, unlike The Addams Family, Casper the Friendly Ghost did have follow-ups, and unlike Addams Family Values, these were not that good. And I guess also because it's worth mentioning, Richie Rich, I guess, kind of fits in the cycle, because there's the fan theory that Richie Rich is just Casper before dying, which I think is a dark, interesting fan theory. And it doesn't have any actual, merit, but I kind of dig it.
It has no merit.
It's a cool fan theory. And it connects two films that came out at the same time, even though obviously
because Richie Rich's dad is like
doesn't make any sense
Daddy Dollar or some stupid shit.
It's just a fun theory about the comics. Meanwhile, Tim Burton helped produce
All right,
another
it's time for
iconic gothic children.
We're done. It's time for Anthony Gramuglia to fucking meet his maker. All right, this guy's got to get. He's got to get fucking taken out. I'm sick of it. I can't take it anymore. Someone call up EFAP. It's time for me to. I'm putting him down. It's time for me to kill the Gram. Do it for the Gram.
Horror classic.
Shit. I don't care.
The Nightmare Before Christmas, directed by Henry Selick, not Burton. This was another project Burton couldn't direct because he was busy with Batman Returns, and frankly, maybe it's better Selick did this one. The film is a classic, one of the essential Halloween movies. While it was successful when it came out, it became more successful over time, thanks to reruns on television and Hot Topic becoming the de facto Nightmare Before Christmas merch store. Every year, around Christmas time, the Haunted Mansion gets redecorated at Disneyland with Nightmare Before Christmas elements. It was put back into theaters multiple times during the 2000s. It is, for many, the de facto children's horror cinematic experience. The combined success of Addams Family, Nightmare Before Christmas, and yes, Casper, I think really showed studios family-friendly scary films would work. But along the way, a couple films came out that weren't hits, necessarily, but gained an audience on syndication around Halloween every year. And these two films are The Witches, which was an adaptation of Roald Dahl's story The Witches, and Hocus Pocus, which when it came out was a complete flop, but thanks to reruns on Disney Channel and ABC Family, now Freeform, became a massive cultural touchstone.
Two movies that are sure to satisfy your appetite for magic and mayhem. And don't forget to add a dash of when you try a little Hocus Pocus and Double Toilet Trouble. Wednesday on Disney. Movies at 7, 6 Central.
Of course, it's never as simple as just one film being a mega hit that creates the whole genre. There were other branches of the story weaving alongside the Addams Family. See, one thing I mentioned briefly in the beginning of the video, but not for a while, slasher movies. You are all my children now. The slasher film was a big deal in the 80s, and while it did die down in the 90s, it's impossible to separate Freddy Krueger from this story, because without Freddy, without Jason, without Michael, we wouldn't get R.L. Stine's entire literary career.
Oh, fuck, there's a fucking cat in
Following
here.
the success of Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street, publishers wanted books to kind of capitalize on this trend. Books for teens that would catch their interest. And what interested them? Slashers, body counts, all the works. Of course, there were plenty of writers out there who were providing young readers plenty of good thrills. Lois Duncan and Christopher Pike both wrote several popular novels that proved very successful with teens. In particular, Lois Duncan's I Know What You Did Last Summer became the basis of the film.
I mean that literally, I have to kill this thing or I'll fall asleep in the game.
Significant differences. But little did anyone know that a writer known mainly for writing gag stories for children would
two of them in there? Wow, really
the champion
I didn't waste my
literary horror for young readers.
Hello, I'm R.L. Stine. I write the Goosebumps books.
Enter R.L. Stine, who wrote a little-known series called Fear Street.
Charming, man.
These dark, twisted tales were an anthology set in the same location, which proved very popular. Publishers then went to Stine and said, hey, look, Fear Street's really good. What if you do the same thing you did with Fear Street, except with younger audiences? A book series for kids in the style of Fear Street that was a little more EC Comics inspired. Enter Goosebumps. Inspired by Tales from the Crypt and its ilk, the same inspiration for Tales from the Dark Side, Goosebumps is basically the biggest pillar of 90s children's horror, alongside the films I mentioned earlier. Running for 64 books, this series brought children closer to campy, silly monster stories with campy, silly monster stories. Sure, some of them haven't aged well. Sure, some of them rely on a ton of cliches. Sure, some of the stories feel surprisingly mean-spirited when we visit them as an adult, especially against fat people, apparently. But they're still extremely charming books that were perfect introductory stories for young readers. Hell, the book and the show adapting the book series were my introduction to horror. And you had so many iconic monsters, from possessed evil dolls to bizarre liquids that cause bizarre growth, cameras foretelling grim futures.
Why did you phrase that like that? I love you. What was that? Bizarre chemicals that cause bizarre growth. What a 10 out of 10, dude. I love it. I love it. Dude, writing a fucking synopsis to like make stuff make sense is it's just a pain in the ass. Oh fuck, I'm losing my mind. I gotta get out of here. Save the spot in the room and don't forget to change the code. Tweet usually don't figure it out. Fucking God damn it. No. Losing my mind. I'm actually going crazy. There's a fucking psychosis area in there. Yum, 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 yum. Taking my little Ukrainian sanity pills. Thank you. I appreciate that the hallucinations are like kind of bugged, so they will fight like real things. Little room behind the stage. Where's the thing that I need?
And masks that refuse to loosen themselves from the flesh of those who wear them. There were a lot of options for readers at the time. Aside from your vampires, mummies, werewolves, and the like, there were more existential horrors mixed in with the
A buddy of mine I went to high school with actually did a breakdown.
Mom?
His attempt at doing a YouTube channel. I don't think he stuck with it, but
I think they liked it.
Personally, I think The Haunted Mask is, in terms of quality, the best Goosebumps story. But Werewolf Fever Swamp I also really dig too, and any werewolf story I'm down for. I love it. The series is still a really good series that's excellent for children who want to dip their toes into horror while still reading. They were fun, they were engaging. But after a certain point in time, kids wanted something scarier, you know? And what's funny is Goosebumps was never super scary, but it was always a long shot from Nightmare and Friday. So where's the middle ground? Where's the transition from Goosebumps to adult horror? Well, we had a couple of those actually, and they proved extremely popular during the 90s as well. Are You Afraid of the Dark is actually very similar to Tales from the Dark Side in terms of style, tone, presentation. It's cheesy and fun as an adult, but the show on occasion did push the boundaries and show some genuinely disturbing imagery. Like that ghost skeleton coming out of the pool, or that monstrous thing in the basement that hungered for bodies and created nightmares such as life-size living dolls. But I think the episode that gets everyone the most is that clown episode, because it's a clown that just follows you around. You don't really see it too much, but I mean, the suggestion is there. Even if nothing really happens in the episode, the implications are what frightens you and lingers with you. That said, I love the framing device of Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's all about how the stories are being told by a bunch of kids. It's kids telling each other stories to scare each other. And that element, I think, will be very important in our discussions.
I can't remember many of the Are You Afraid of the Dark stories
authentically told amongst the group. But I would be lying if I said any of the stories from Are You Afraid of the Dark are truly that scary. On the other hand, scary stories to tell in the dark is fucking haunting. The stories themselves are completely serviceable. They're brief and short, so you can read a bunch at once. Many draw from folklore. A few even draw from Shakespeare. But good God, those illustrations. The imagery in this book is among the scariest things I saw as a kid. It isn't even close. I mean, don't get me wrong, the covers for Goosebumps were pretty great and iconic and all that, but these images are just what even? Half of them don't even have anything to do with the story they're attached to, but oh my God. Stephen Gammell, the artist, deserves credit for making this trilogy of short story anthologies so effective. But stories themselves are, like I said, a disturbing collection of works from folklore and horrifying, haunting stories. But these ideas themselves are made worse by the imagery associated with it. As for the stories themselves, many are urban legends. In fact, you've probably heard this one before.
At 9:30, the telephone rang again.
Yeah, I could never.
Doreen answered it. It was the man who had called before. I'll be there soon.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
About 10 o'clock, the telephone rang again. Jenny got to it first. Hello? She said. It was the same man. 1 more hour, he said. And he laughed and hung up. Doreen called the operator. Almost at once, she called back. That person is calling from a telephone upstairs, she said.
The caller is in the house. The calls are coming from the house.
Jill, this is Sergeant Sacker. We've traced the call. It's coming from inside the house.
Now, what if I told you I might have smudged the timeline a little bit? On purpose, not by accident. Because, yeah, the original Scary Stories, they were extremely popular in the 90s. That was when all the controversy about these books came out. That's when they started selling like hotcakes again. But they weren't published in the 90s. They were published in 1981, the first book anyway. So yeah, before Freddy, before Poltergeist, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was one of the first major books for children about horror. But I kind of left that out because they had a heyday back in the 90s. The 90s saw these books return in big form and become extremely popular. And they proved so popular in the 90s that the books became known by parents. In that decade, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was the most widely challenged book series in the country, with parents insisting that the books were too frightening and grotesque for their young kids. And it also has a surprising amount of casual cannibalism in these books and desecration of corpses, often both at the same time. It's interesting, too, that this challenging resulted, I think, in publishers getting a little cold feet. They're a little scared to go as far as Scary Stories did. And as a result, I think we saw the beginnings of this subgenre for children's horror start to crumble. We started to see people get more restrictive, get more hesitant about presenting the most frightening images possible for kids. And of course, far less cannibalism, which I see as a choice. Why are these books so filled with cannibalism? There's like 10 stories about people just going out into the woods and seeing a body and going, ooh, I can't wait to put this in my soup. Like,
what Fruit Punch doesn't show up on this?
These books function in? Like, why would you have so much weird... You know what? I digress. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. A lot of the books from Scary Stories are inspired by folklore, so maybe that was a common thing in folklore, but it's aged really oddly, I think. It's weird. I don't get it. I mean, maybe it's a general fear or something. Who knows? Coinciding coincidentally with all this was the controversy surrounding Batman Returns. That movie Tim Burton turned down both Addams Family and Night Before Christmas to make. The film proved extremely controversial among parents for being, well...
We will snatch them, carry them into the sewer, and toss them into a deep, dark, watery grave.
As screwed up as it was.
Hello, everyone. By now, you pretty much have had to have heard that the summer's big movie is Batman Returns. In its first couple of weeks, it has already grossed more than $100 million at the box office, and it is already creating controversy. Some parents contend that Batman Returns, which is rated PG-13, is actually being marketed for younger children, and the movie is just too violent. All the hysteria surrounding Batman has caused McDonald's to do a Happy Meal promotion, and you know, who's buying Happy Meals, 13-year-olds and over? And these are the toys that are on the market now. Of course, the whole Batman series. So it is all...
So we want a Batman with nipples.
Geared toward younger kids. These toys are for 4 and up.
I think it's not appropriate at all that they're doing this kind of tie-in for the kids. And when she drives by the movie, she says she wants to go see the movie.
That's Dan Saltman, dude.
When I tell her she can't see it, she bursts out into tears.
You started to see
never mind. He's got his own kid.
Parents acting against media that was deemed too inappropriate for their children.
It might be someone else's shit. That could be Dan Saltman.
Dark, and even Tales from the Crypt, which a lot of kids did watch on HBO, even though it was the rated R uncensored channel. Who'd have thought? It's also worth mentioning, I think, that Tales from the Crypt did have an animated series for children called Tales from the Crypt Keeper, which was basically the same thing that Tales from the Crypt did, but animated and less inappropriate for children. But it wasn't as successful, and therefore kind of left out of the conversation. So the horror had to get more kid-friendly. And it did, to an extent. Now with cable networks creating channels all for kids, Disney, Cartoon Network, and Nickelodeon, new content needed to be made. Every cartoon had a Halloween episode, but some shows were centered on monsters and scares. Now, Our Real Monsters tried this, but the most successful show in this era was Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Return the slab, or suffer my curse.
The show reveled in mixing strange, surreal horror with jump scares and odd animation techniques to create an atmosphere of surreal fear. There's nothing really quite like it. Oh yeah, and Scooby-Doo saw a revival too. Cartoon Network would regularly air Scooby-Doo and all of its associated shows. As a result, kids were reintroduced to Scooby and the gang. The syndication boom really helped Scooby-Doo. Now, Scooby-Doo had made a few TV movies that were made...
We'll talk about this. That was because of the Hanna-Barbera effect. So if you guys don't remember, Cartoon Network was not the Cartoon Network that you know now. Nowadays, when people think of Cartoon Network, you think of, what, 50 or 60 different, maybe actually more like in the ballpark, about 10 or 12 different shows that are like your favorite show you've ever seen in your life. You love that show. You have your Adventure Time, maybe your Samurai Jack or Powerpuff Girls if you're a little bit older. And if you're really, really old, you're Cow and Chicken, you know what I mean? But when fucking Cartoon Network first started, let me make sure it's not too late. Okay, it's like 12:30. When Cartoon Network first started, when I first started watching it, Cartoon Network was a Hanna-Barbera cartoons rerun platform. And that's it. That's all they did and all they had. Hanna-Barbera cartoons. And they reran them constantly. And I mean, it's Hanna-Barbera cartoons you've never heard of. Now, Scooby-Doo I knew about from when I was a kid, because it would be in some of the Saturday morning, Sunday morning cartoon lineups, you know what I mean? Zoink, Scoob, I don't know if we're gonna survive this one. Watch out, Shaggy, he's got a giant dildo. Whatever the fuck, you know. All that good stuff, right? But then you had, and like maybe you've also seen some of like the more rare ones, like Secret Squirrel, which was an actual cartoon, not just a thing that people say. And then you have like fucking Josie and the Pussycats, which you're like, oh yeah, and then they made a movie, right? Like, yeah, they did. But then you got like you had real deep cut Hanna-Barbera shit on there. Like fucking, I should call Snagglepuss deep cut, but fucking like Godzilla and his son Godzuki. Have you ever heard of that? Godzilla, dum ba ba bum, Godzilla, dum da da dum, Godzilla. And Godzuki. It was Godzilla, and Godzilla was him. Like, or her, I guess, maybe. I can't remember. Godzilla might be a chick in that one. Or all the time. I don't know what Godzilla's gender is. It's a giant fucking lizard, okay? But, like, it was a show. Oh, fuck, I hate these fucking things. There was a show about Godzilla being a struggling single parent and their kid being on basically like a Venture Brothers like adventure yacht, and there would be hijinks. The kids were whatever. They were just it was fucking. Oh hey, what's up? Are we all cool here? You guys spark? Prick? Okay, cool.
Talk to our boss.
All right, yeah, I'll do that.
What you want?
Oh, it's you.
What?
Nothing. You got shit.
So long.
Like they would go around on a fucking boat or whatever the fuck. You know, it was what it was. Hey, there's a couple. What? Ain't you guys seen it? Fucking like something written down here where I could maybe type that in there. No one? No. Okay. Well, thanks anyway, dicks. But they would have like little stupid fucking adventures, right? And like, oh wow. These, you know, the Indian Sultan is pretty nice. Oh no, his swarthy companions are trying to kill us. Fucking whatever. Godzuki, watch out! Godzuki be sliding all up and down fucking boats and shit. You always had to be near the ocean because that's where Godzilla is. Godzilla ain't gonna be fucking coming 15 miles inland to save your shit. You better stick near the water, right? And so, like, at some point, always, it would be like, all right, Godzuki, call for Godzilla. And then, like, whatever was happening, the pirates are coming to get us. And then, like, it would be, they'd be closing in and then fucking Godzilla, which is the only reason you're watching the fucking show. For Godzilla to pop out of the fucking water and smash somebody. But they had all this fucking Hanna-Barbera shit on fucking Cartoon Network, and it was relentless. And then in addition, they used that old reruns, basically just having you like, and I think they would make fun of people like, we know why you're watching this, like, hey man, you're just hanging out during the day, right? Thanks for hanging out with your friends over at Cartoon Network, bud. I'm hanging out. Are you hanging out? Like, yeah, we're all hanging out, Scoob. Like, fucking hell yeah, dude. Yeah. We're all in on the joke. I wasn't, but I remember this from the fucking future, okay? And they reran these things, and then they started running out something called What a Cartoon, which was bonkers experimental animation by degenerate animation students who would go on to become all of the people that you know. I think Pendleton Ward even had a show on that. I wouldn't be surprised. I would actually be kind of shocked if he didn't. But I'm gonna start heading for this fucking mission. Dude, why is with the fucking super intense music here? But like, yeah, you had like Gendy Tartakovsky, you had fucking Johnny Bravo's guy was on there. All those fucking people. Powerpuff Girls when it was the beat 'em up girls or whatever the fuck. Not punching fucking dudes' brains out of their fucking heads and all that sort of shit. All of those iconic as fuck cartoons come from generally this cartoon generator called What a Cartoon! Oh, what a cartoon! What a cartoon! Hey, what a cartoon! And they would do all of these things. I'm surprised nobody talks about fucking What a Cartoon. It's the most important thing that's ever existed. You wouldn't have Adventure Time without What a Cartoon. You wouldn't have you wouldn't have Undertale if it wasn't for What a Cartoon. Like, it was so much shit was on there. And it was sort of like the opposite. Hold on a second. 8, 6, 1. Zero. Oh, 1861. Okay, well, there you go. That's either the code for in there or the one from back before. Well, I know I can figure this out. But basically, yeah, all those things would show up on there, and they started building a retinue of cartoons by basically, like, whoever, like, people would write in, I guess, or whatever, and they would, like, I love that fucking cartoon. That's the first time I saw Courage the Cowardly Dog came from there. The first Courage the Cowardly Dog episode was on a What the Cartoon, and I was fucking horrified, because this shit was on randomly. Like, What a Cartoon would be on at 3 in the afternoon, alright? And this is before they had Toonami. Understand that. This is before fucking Toonami, as far as I remember. Because they didn't have fucking anything but kids' cartoons. Like, I was in grade school or some shit. Maybe middle school. Going to get to middle school. And it was fucking nuts. This stuff that they had on there. And it was the chicken that lays the creepy egg and it turns Eustace into a fucking creepy egg chicken monster because he eats the egg. Oh, don't eat it! You know, that whole fucking thing. And it was awesome. Awesome as fuck. What a cartoon. But nobody talks about it, ever. It was so fucking important. But, like, yeah, they had all that shit. They had the Wonder Twins, or Wonder Twin powers, activate! Form of this and that. You wouldn't have Family Guy if it wasn't for those Hanna-Barbera things. Fuck, the original Family Guy was on What a Cartoon. If you look up What a Cartoon, the original Family Guy pilot is on there. Before it was Family Guy. It's Peter and Brian, and they go shopping together. And they buy a fucking lamp and put too bright of a light bulb in it and turn it into a lightsaber. Oh no, it's a lightsaber. And eventually that got turned into Family Guy. It's not like, they're not like the normal characters they are now, but even that was on there. I'm pretty sure that was where it was. It was so fucking important, and all these things came from it. But before you had What a Cartoon start generating Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Courage the Cowardly Dog, and you know, a series of other shows that would eventually show up as well. It was just a Hanna-Barbera, constant Hanna-Barbera stuff, and then maybe like a few, like, there's like little cartoon music videos. I remember there used to be draw-alongs to teach you how to draw the cartoon characters. It was a much different thing than it is now. And that was back when even they had Adult Swim, and it was like, okay, all kids out of the pool. Adult Swim. Time for Adult Swim. You have Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Why? Because all of the Space Ghost Coast to Coast characters are fucking Hanna-Barbera characters that they had access to the animation frames for, and they could just reuse the animation to make new stuff by repurposing the old stuff and then maybe drawing in one or two things. And that's how fucking Cartoon Network operated for forever. But those absolutely zero budget fucking goofy ass Hanna-Barbera things that they did were the only reason that you have any of this stuff now. What the hell am I doing? I never know how to bring up the fucking notes area. 1861. I don't think this is it. I think that's actually the one for... Let's go back to where I was.
An emission is approaching, soldiers. Seek shelter immediately. I repeat, we have an incoming emission. Seek shelter.
In the 80s, they were fairly unremarkable. But then, 4 direct-to-video movies came out, and the first 2, Zombie Island and Witch's Ghost, were pretty good. Zombie Island introduced the concept of real monsters to Scooby-Doo, creating some genuinely disturbing visuals, whereas Witch's Ghost, while not as frightening as Zombie Island, did appeal to a whole group of people growing up with its more gothic story, its more Americana-X style, almost feeling at times like a Stephen King story in some points, as well as the Hex Girls. The Hex Girls, I think, are the biggest contribution this film has to cartoon history, for many, many reasons. And I would be remiss not to mention all the Halloween specials we got, especially sitcoms. Family Matters, I think, made it an art form to have insane, over-the-top Halloween specials every Halloween. But other ones had some stuff too. So what happened? Well, a few things. But the biggest thing, I think, was horror changed. You can thank Scream for a lot of that.
Why do you want to know my name?
Attention, everyone. There's an emission
Scream was a slasher, culturally avenue teen dramas like Dawson's Creek. Horror tried to become more slick and modern, and the kids wanted their horror to look like it. There's a huge difference from the aesthetic of Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream, even though Wes Craven directed both. Supernatural demons like Freddy and Candyman passed on, when more real people like Ghostface showed up. And remember this face right here. He will show up again, a lot.
I'll be right back!
The same stories that ran in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark became fodder for urban legend. Consider the story of the headlights. You know, a guy in the backseat of a car sneaks in there, woman drives off, the guy's in the backseat, truck behind her sees this guy sneak into the car and follows her with headlights trying to flash whenever the guy gets up to attack her. That story is presented unironically in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, but it's told as a plot point in urban legend. In one, it's very slick, and another, it's very loose, kind of scary story to tell, you know? It's not as slick and polished, and as a result, has a very different vibe to it. Personally, I like the more unpolished version.
Child who live.
Alright, the emission is over. Get back to your posts, as per your duty schedules.
It's easy to do. The things that you wanted. I bought them for you. That shit's too fucking hard. That guitar is too hard to fucking use.
I think it's more neat, but there is a charm to urban legend, and it was of the era. But even that would change very, very quickly. A little film came out at the end of the 1990s, and it changed horror forever.
I'm scared to close my eyes.
Fucking Blair Witch.
I'm scared to open them. I'm gonna die out of here.
Now, Scooby-Doo actually did do a parody of the film that was on Cartoon Network, but Blair Witch Project heralded a new era, one that blurred the boundary of reality and fiction. Of course, now the market was pretty big, but we started seeing a trend in Hollywood. Repetition, regurgitation of past success, stagnation. Now, the live-action Scooby-Doo films, I admit, I think have their moments as memes and jokes. Hey,
You're doing that thing again where you take everything I say out of context. You're trying to make it look like I think Coolsville sucks.
All Fred Jones had to say was,
I think Coolsville sucks.
But it's clear James Gunn's script is
what the
being
fuck?
restricted to appeal
Is that
to
Sunday's
the
editor?
market, as perceived by studios anyway. Especially considering the works James Gunn would later produce shortly thereafter. I mean, seriously, can you imagine an unrestrained Scooby-Doo horror film from the Trauma-era James Gunn? Dawn of the Dead and Slither were just a few years away. Now, the best contribution of the Scooby-Doo films is, of course, the casting of Matthew Lillard as...
Dude, one of the best. I never saw the intro to... I saw... Dude, you see me already? What the fuck? Fuck. Yo, Jesus Christ. Never mind. Alright, go ahead and talk. Go ahead and talk.
I'll be right back! Who would continue to play Shaggy in just about everything until Scoob dropped during the pandemic. I am sure we won't mention Matthew Lillard again after this. Nope, not at all. Tim Burton and Henry Selick fared better during this era, with Burton making Corpse Bride and Frankenweenie, and Selick making James and the Giant Peach and Coraline. But they were also making mistakes, like Disney's Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy. That was very disappointing. I genuinely think this film is really a lot of missed potential, and it could have been really good had they made it less a comedy and more something in line with their older ghost stories. There were also films like Little Vampire that didn't capture the public's imagination all too well, but were fairly decent, if not a little unremarkable. And as for the holiday special episode tradition, it faded. The Simpsons is the only mainstream television show that consistently has an iconic Halloween episode every
dude on
year.
Courage Give Me Nightmares. Turns out 8-year-old
But the
me was
fact that
based
they're
on
the
the true
exception
horrors
that
of the
proves
words
the rule
perpetrated by
makes
rich
this
actors.
change all the more noticeable. But there's one other huge thing that occurred that I feel would be negligent not to bring up as a major factor in the 90s horror boom's decline, and that's the fall of Goosebumps as a brand. See, while R.L. Stine is known as the author of Goosebumps, the truth is a little more
The lunatic fringe
The
of
brand was created through a
American
partnership
FM.
between Stine's company, Parachute Press, and Scholastic. The books drove Scholastic sales throughout the 90s, in part thanks to their Scholastic book sales at schools, where kids would see all these cool covers and pick all the books up. Those were amazing, very nostalgic for any 90s kid. But by most accounts, Scholastic had a fairly unfair contract with Stine's company, Parachute Press. Stine had minimal influence on marketing and branding decisions, and was contracted to be the sole author of every Goosebumps book. Every main one.
God,
anyway.
he looks so
Also,
smarmy.
he had to work on multiple spin-off series running simultaneously, and he had to run promotions for his book. Even though he didn't control over marketing, he had to be there to promote the book whenever possible, even appearing on the Goosebumps TV show, which started as an adaptation of The Haunted Mask. Oh, and despite earning Scholastic billions, Stine and his company only saw a fraction of the profits. Stine at some point was publishing 24 books before Parachute's titles. Parachute Press, which was by the way co-owned by Stine's wife, tried to negotiate a better deal, but allegedly, even with a better deal, Scholastic was still withholding tens of millions of dollars in royalties for the books. The reason for this? Allegedly, R.L. Stine dared use writing assistants to keep up with demand, which meant he was breaching Scholastic's contract, where he had to be the sole author of every book.
February 1st, 1999, Scholastic filed a lawsuit against Parachute. The suit alleged that Stine breached his contract, hiring ghostwriters to write many of the then 100-plus Goosebumps books. This would have violated Stine's agreement that he'd be the sole writer of every main series book, aka the original series and Series 2000.
Why does this guy sound like
claiming that freelancers would,
fucking
at most, create detailed outlines
nostalgia
for
critic,
his
but he's
books.
got his shit together.
Footnote: in the years following the lawsuit, several Goosebumps ghostwriters would actually reveal themselves, though they are linked to spin-off books outside the main series, so well within the terms of Stine's contract.
And I want to remind you that Scholastic first signed this deal with Stine. It was a 6-book deal originally for Goosebumps, and the terms of the original contract were just for 6 small books. not the franchise that earned Scholastic's billions in dollars in profits from the book sales alone, not counting merchandise and all of that. This led to several lawsuits that resulted in a settlement in 2003. But by this point, the brand was essentially killed. Momentum had stalled for a while now. Then there was the matter of the Goosebumps film.
They used to sell those books
While
at
the film
fucking
would
toy
eventually
stores.
come out
Toy
decades
stores.
later, the original film was in development hell for years. George Romero initially wanted to adapt the first book, Welcome to Deadhouse, but Scholastic would then bring on a different director, one more marketable for kids, Tim Burton. The problem is, though, that Tim Burton couldn't decide which book he wanted to adapt, and as the lawsuit went on and on and on, and the rights got murkier, things fell out. It also probably didn't hurt that Scholastic had a new major series that was just as popular as Goosebumps, if not more so. Also, Pokemon came out around this time, which completely changed the game on Saturday morning cartoons for kids. That meant the Pokemon show totally eclipsed Goosebumps as a series for kids and drew a lot of attention away. And while Pokemon has its scary bits like the Lavender Town Syndrome and all that, Goosebumps kind of fell off the radar, as did most horror for kids on TV. There were some horror shows still airing, of course, like Disney's underrated X-Files knockoff So Weird, but it trickled to a crawl at the turn of the new millennium.
But here's the thing too, and it's something that everyone probably pointed out from the beginning, the kids who grew up with these horror stories grew up. By the 2000s, they were teens or even adults in some cases, and they wanted something in their demographic. And the early 2000s had several trends materialize. Nostalgic remakes of classic horror films, extreme cinema, torture porn, J-horror, and of course, found footage. The blurring of reality and media, where you could make an argument that maybe this film actually happened. The kids of yesteryear wanted more extreme stuff in a post-9/11 world, and the world delivered. But
pretty fucking
the other thing that changed horror games and the internet. Horror in the digital age replaced many of the formal experiences you get in mainstream society. Because before, in mainstream society, for example, horror for kids was becoming more censored. They were afraid of going too far. And of course, the Harry Potter books were so popular that became the predominant and medium of entertainment for kids. Meanwhile, video games that become very popular in the 90s as well started to deliver success after success in the horror genre. Resident Evil and Silent Hill were the kings of the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 era of horror. Now, I think Silent Hill is a little too scary and a little too clunky and esoteric for kids to get into, but Resident Evil had zombies. You'd go in the house, you'd fight zombies, it was cool. Your older brother or cousin would play it, and you'd watch them. But I think things changed with the release of two games in particular that were independent games, made cheaply, made loosely. Following the success of Amnesia: The Dark Descent, games didn't need super heavy combat.
And you are fucking all over the place. This timeline is everywhere. When you think about it, okay, we're talking about the 90s in horror. Resident Evil came out right around the same time as the Goosebumps books were like majorly popular. Maybe right around when they were starting to finally peter off, but they were still selling like fucking hotcakes. Resident Evil was like 95, 96, and then Resident Evil 2 was like 98, 99. It had to have been, because we were already getting old copies of it while I was in fucking middle school, which is like 99, right? Throughout the entirety of this, we always have... I was already reading Stephen King by then, but we have insane... some of the biggest horror releases ever, legendarily, were on DOS, which is early 90s. So, I mean, we're talking about... We have Doom, you have... oh, God damn it. It's not Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's the one that they remade. Afraid of the Dark? Into the Dark? I can't remember what the hell it was, but it's a Cthulhu-y type game that they eventually remade on the Xbox 360, and only I like it because it's an only open world horror game and no one else enjoys it. But if you talk about horror video games, those were already prevalent, and very, very big. You have, especially like anybody that had access to it, you have Clock Tower and shit, all the way back as far as the NES. The NES console system, you had NES, not SNES, the NES console system. You had a really, really solid for its time in my mind. Probably there's a fucking angry video game nerd on it or something where he's like, it's not good. But a really, really solid Friday the 13th game, an extremely fun for its time NES Jaws game that was definitely a fucking horror game. And then you had like Splatter, Punk, and all those other sort of things. And those were all over the place, and they were very, very popular and very, very well regarded. Alone in the Dark. Thank you, Fat Heat. Correct. Yes, Alone in the Dark. And if you get into like, unsettling atmosphere, if you just even allow that, then you have like Riven and Mist and a bunch of fucking like click-to-play games that were just all over the place. I can't quite get behind this timeline. This seems a little confused. A lot of these things are intermingled, and they were like kind of like co-integrated. I mean, we're talking about Resident Evil, yeah, but I mean, we got Parasite Eve at that time, which I still have never got to play, but I know all about Super Junk and Duper Junk. Jump Scare Maze, that's a little bit later down the line. But yeah, there's a ton of entries, but they just weren't everywhere. And a lot of games had horror aspects in them that were just like, legendary for the time. The fucking piano in Mario, of course, like everybody always knows. Everyone always brings that one up. And there's like a lot of good horror aspects and stuff. So people were really ready for it. The PlayStation alone was probably one of the biggest changes for horror. I mean, fucking 1996, man. You have that Silent Hill is 1996, I believe. The original Silent Hill was released. Let me see. Let me just double check that real quick. Yeah, because I was still in grade school. Silent Hill game. Can I have the original? Oh my god, what in the fuck, Wikipedia? Team Silent 99 to 2006. Was it 99? I thought that was 96. What the fuck? Why is my... I swear to god I was playing that game. '99, huh? That doesn't seem right. I guess it is. Was I still at fucking St. Jude in 1999? Either way, maybe that's a little bit more correct, but fuck. February 23rd, 1999. I guess, yeah, and then I guess I started middle school the next year. Okay, so it came out the year, probably between when I was in grade school and middle school. I played that game right when it came out then. That's actually fucking nuts. I thought it had already been out for a while, which is why I said 96. So I'm wrong on that bit. But I mean, still, yeah, the PlayStation was a big change to horror games. I mean, that was like the legendary thing. But like I said, like, all of this stuff was kind of right next to each other. It was all kind of at the same fucking time. You have a bunch of horror games for the fucking SNES and NES. Maybe less for the SNES, but definitely a bunch for the SNES or the NES, the actual Nintendo, the Famicom.
Slender the 8 Pages, and of course the king
Ski
of
Free,
modern
yes.
horror, Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, we're talking about that today. Both proved extremely successful because A, they were easy to play games.
No way you're playing Silent Hill in
them a lot
'96.
and
It's true
fast.
because it came out 3
There
years
wasn't
after
a lot
that.
to them in terms of Resident Evil, Silent Hill, in terms of the gameplay and all that. And a lot of Let's Players would use these as fodder for simple episodes of their shows.
The first night. If I didn't want to stay the first night, why would I stay any more than 5?
Markiplier became especially famous
That's
with
so weird to think.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
I guess I only did go to public middle school for 2 years. That's so weird to think about because I was in grade school at St. Jude until 6th grade. Yeah. And then I guess I was only in middle school for 2 years. Obviously, I was in 7th and 8th grade, and then 9th grade is 2001. So yeah, it would have been, okay, wow. It's just weird to think. I guess it was the end of my 6th grade year is probably when it came out. That's fucking bonkers. I can't believe that was 99. Confusing time. A lot of stuff happened right like in the next like 4 or 5 years after that. They kind of like, you know, make it hard to remember stuff. So my bad.
And then other YouTubers like MatPat joined the fray, analyzing the lore and history, and that delved deeper into it. But you have to remember the gameplay. That's the key thing that got these games noteworthy at the beginning. Amnesia: The Dark Descent made the characters passive survivors, trying to live through an experience, rather than shoot it in the face like in Resident Evil. Leon Kennedy could kick people with chainsaws' heads off. But
that's kind of the issue. That like all the Clock Tower games are like that too. And I was playing Clock Tower in fucking high school, well before Amnesia came out. I was playing Clock Tower. What one was on the PlayStation? I think it was the PlayStation 2. Was that Clock Tower 3? The one where the girl turns into a fucking Sailor Scout? But only in the last bit. For the rest of it, you can still just get fucking clipped the entire time.
in Amnesia, you had an oil lamp and your feet, and you had to run and hide. But Five Nights at Freddy's took that to a new level. You were so powerless, and all you could really do is close a door and hope they don't see you. There was a sense of vulnerability there, a sense of, fear. Another major element, neither Slender or Five Nights at Freddy's included extreme violence or extreme sexual content, which meant a kid...
I mean, that's just crazy, though. If you got... Silent Hill is 99, though, you know what I mean? And I know Five Nights at Freddy's is like 2014, 2013, right? Because I had my first job out of college, and I was watching those Markiplier videos back then, because I was like, what the fuck is this? It just got, like, literally thrust into my fucking algorithm on YouTube. Note about boars. Damn it, Rock God. Boar got me cornered. Amazon, Sims crap. One sheep, two sheep. Drinky.
Would play it.
But yeah, I'm sorry. But my point is there's like 15 years of like 15 years of crazy entries into the horror genre at that point. I mean, yeah, we definitely have, so like 99-ish, 98, 99-ish has to be all of those like Square Enix PlayStation games. You've got, man, I'd have to look them all up, but there's a phenomenal amount of just random different horror games in there. I mean, we're thinking, we're forgetting some crazy fucking entries, like Nightmare Creatures. I mean, I know you're like, some people are like, well, if you can't name them off the top of your head, like, first off, it's been 30 years, okay? So take it easy on me. Nightmare Creatures, which was one of the most psychotic horror beat 'em up, over-the-shoulder camera fighting games. It was actually fucking bonkers. You have Parasite Eve 1 and 2, which are basically like, if you don't know anything about those games, it's like Final Fantasy, but for horror, is like the only way to describe it. Imagine Final Fantasy plus Resident Evil are mixed together. That's kind of it, with crazy ass FMV cutscenes and shit. I tried to play it, and the copy I rented when I was a kid would freeze after the first hallway because the disc was scratched. Shout out playing games on CD back in the day. And then after that, I mean, you have the entirety of the Silent Hill franchise is released before I graduate high school. All the good stuff is. And then you have, man, just a ton, like just a fucking metric fuck ton of games of all stripes and sorts that are coming out during that. I mean, even, I guess if we go all the way to 2013, 2014, then we finally have, that's The Last of Us comes out, and I feel like that's a lot of people's, like, what they think is when horror started, because it's when they started playing the games at all, right? So they're like, it's fucking 2013, I watched my older brother play that game and stuff, blah, blah, but, like, dude, the horror game entries in that intermediary period, we skip over some crazy things. Manhunt, one of the most wild fucking games ever. When Rockstar was doing stuff that was not always fucking more Grand Theft Auto, they came out with fucking Manhunt, which is a game that was like designed to irritate fucking anti-video game politicians. Like, it's so fucking great. You just literally go. You're just literally a serial killer. Condemned: Criminal Origins for the Xbox 360. One of the launch titles for the 360. It's like a legendary game. I never got to really play it except for in tutorials, because 360 was literally launched as I was graduating boot camp, so I did not get to use it very much. What is that game? Punished? It's like you're in a fucking prison the entire time. I think it's called Punished or something like that. But that's a lot of people's favorite game of all time. It's a horror game. You turn into a big monster and stuff. They're remaking the first Silent Hill. Of course they are. Always remaking everything. My name's Harry Mason. Have you seen my daughter, Cheryl? I can't believe my voice is finally deep enough I can do it without having to do it. I used to do this for my friends all the time when I was a kid. Because we loved that game. We loved Silent Hill. Like, you can't fucking understand how much we love that game. Hello, my name's Harry Mason. I'm looking for my daughter, Cheryl. She's about 8 years old. This tall, short, black hair. Cheryl! Cheryl, come back! 99% of that fucking game. God, I love it, man. One of the first things I'm working on the second I have time again is my You Can't Return to Silent Hill video. It's like, probably gonna be one of the more important fucking, like, things I make ever. I don't know. Oh god, I thought that was a trap. I'm gonna let Hank.
Silent Hill, which had, you know, all of that. Slender the Eight Pages had a gameplay loop that was pretty straightforward, and a lot of people copied it, but there was something about Five Nights at Freddy's that really captured the imagination.
Oh my god, fuck, base kill Mickey Mouse. We have to stop and talk about something. Bringing up one of the deepest, darkest, deep cut games of all fucking time. He said, you know, yeah. First traditionally animated game, Cuphead. Have you ever heard of Clay Fighter? Forgotten game, legendary. Clay Fighter is basically a claymation Mortal Kombat, and it is as weird and jank and fucking amazing as you think. Everything has squash and stretch attacks. Everybody's made out of clay. You're beating clay to fucking into goop the whole time, and it looked cool as shit. At least back in the day. Probably now, if you look at it, it may not stand the test of time, but in those moments, like, the fidelity was ridiculous. But also, like, all the games used to be traditionally animated. Like, fucking, what do you think Earthworm Jim is? Like, do you think Earthworm Jim is not animated? You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, I don't know, maybe they used paper and pencil or something. They think that changes it up, but, like, no. Maybe the first one in a while. But that's how they all used to be. It's just completely drawn out. Toe Jam, Earl. All of them. That's why the fucking idle animations used to be so fucking good looking. And why you would, like, stand there waiting for them. See somebody start flipping their fucking head around and shit. God.
I think it was the mascots.
Haunting Grounds, there you go. Fatal Frame, yes, thank you.
Right? Silent Hill and Resident Evil, they have their zombies and demons, and they have particularly noteworthy monsters like Nemesis and Pyramid Head. Great iconic villains. But Slender the Eight Pages and, of course, Five Nights at Freddy's introduced kids to recognizable horror icons that would be reinterpreted again and again, both in independently driven stories like Slender knockoffs or in future games of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. And of course,
we must pause again to speak of the Slender Masks. Slender Man, I hate the Slender Man mythos now. I should have ended it when I had a chance. I should have called it gay more often when I was on X, and we were all inventing it for you kids back then. And before Marble Hornets got a wild fucking hair up their ass and decided to make a whole fucking, the worst video ever about it. What is it? Marble Hornets, Tribe 12, that never finished anything ever on time, but had the best. They knew how to use 4 more buttons on fucking Adobe After Effects than everybody else did. Fucking shout out Tribe 12. And the last one, which is the guys that the people that really tried to act. And they started as a fitness channel with some Slender Man in the background, but they summoned him. They brought him into this world. That was all the Slender Man shit. And Slender Man started on fucking, well, I guess it was probably on Something Awful or some shit, but I saw it on fucking X forever ago. And it was ass. And that Slender game is fucking ass. It's dog shit as fuck. And I hate it. I hate that it exists. And fuck you if you like it. How about that? that series of games that's just like fucking random assets and shit, and you got to go do like a series of pickups. Then there's like 5,000 of those slop games. This isn't a point against fucking Gramuglia. I just wanted to fucking say that I hate those games and I hate the people that like them. I'm offended. If you're a child, well, first off, you're not supposed to be watching my show, so turn it the fuck off. But also, and those games were important to you. I piss on your childhood, and I hate you.
Freddy Fazbear, Chica, all those characters. I think Springtrap was the scariest because of the story behind him being a child murderer locked inside of an animatronic body.
For most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, friend.
In my opinion, though, the creation of Springtrap, while it was good they made a central villain for a time in the games, it did undermine the potential fear that could be conjured by Freddy Fazbear and the other animatronics. After all, they went from these horrific monsters who could kill you to victims of an even more wicked, evil person. There were also several Five Nights at Freddy's copies and inspired works, from Bendy to Poppy, that drew from FNAF's success to build something all their own. And that's neat. I mean, we had the same thing with the slasher boom in the 80s, where Halloween led to copies like Friday the 13th that became successful on their own rights. And that's fine. It's absolutely fine. But there's something very derivative about the FNAF copies, or inspired works. It feels like the colorful characters and lore have substituted the quality storytelling that we saw in the most iconic of children's horror. But then again, horror for kids has always been icon-driven, from Slappy the Doll to The Crypt Keeper to Wednesday Addams to even Scary Stories Harold. I mean, I think Harold is by far the scariest because he's a scarecrow that skins people and dries their skin out on roofs. But hey, what are you gonna do?
For right now, I want to talk a little bit more about Slender Man, because Slender Man was representative of a new trend in horror, the creepy pasta. Stories made by kids and younger people to scare each other.
No, Anthony, you're wrong. They're not made by kids. He'll probably get to it, but creepy pasta is an internet bastardization of another internet word, which is copy pasta. Copy pasta is missaying intentionally copy and paste, right? So a copy pasta is when you copy and paste random text over and over again. Once upon a time, there used to be endless though they probably still are around somewhere. I don't know where they were gone. But there was paste bin files, right? Paste bin is a thing online, and they would have all these stupid fucking copy pastas on them, and you would copy them and then paste them other places so that people could get to them, okay? And that's just literally where that phrase is from. Creepy pastas are copy pastas that are meant to creep people out. So what we would used to do on X is try to scare each other by doing like stupid fucking stories that were really quick and like get some chills. So like, wow, spoops out of 10. Wow, absolutely spoopy. Who was phone? I was phone, but who was phone? And this childish shit, I mean, it probably feels like kids wrote them, but I'm telling you right now, it was probably a lot of people in their fucking mid-early 20s who were either drunk or stoned at their house and bored in the middle of the night. Because I know that's why I was on there. On 4chan and apparently on Something Awful as well. And then they would get mixed up and stuff, and you're like, hey, I heard about the Slender Man, and I tried to summon the Slender Man, and then... Oh, yeah, man. Did you know that if you go to a graveyard at night... I've got to look up... The one I found, it's on my old laptop from when I was in in college. I've got to look that up. I shared one, and I shared it once, and I was like, hey, yeah. I got a bunch of people like, yeah, good. Spoopy out of 10. You know what I mean? And then another person, I tried to share it one more time. And they're like, you shared this before. What are you trying to trip code? Fucking loser. It sucked the first time. And I was like, and I got melted. And I never shared another one again. Oh man. But I went on X all the time, and you would copy and you would paste them, right, to get some cheap thrills and stuff. It's basically like stealing fucking content. I mean, to be as fucking blunt about it as you can be. But that's what those are. Those were what creepypastas are. I personally think it's a good idea to call them what they are accurately, or as accurately as you can, though, too. Are these things all dead again? Very cool. All right, I'm gonna let him go because
These weren't published by a mainstream publisher, but rather distributed online, written and edited and all of that by a user base, by people who just wanted to tell scary stories to each other. And as a result, it became an unfiltered lens of horror, though I think most of them weren't very good. See, I first discovered Slender Man not through Slender the 8 Pages, but through Marble Hornets, an excellent ARG that lifted from found footage cinema. The idea of the creepypasta was again to blur the line between reality and fiction. And the best creepypastas, I think, were ones that you kind of went, okay, this could be a true story. This could be something.
So now you're mixing stuff up, but this is because like way too young of people have been talking about this stuff, and no one knows Okay, so to use unfortunate and homophobic terms from back in the day, it's fucking gay to talk about internet shit. Okay, so you don't do it. That's basically what it was. All right. So you don't explain fucking what in the fuck just happened right? That was cool and scary, okay? So no one explained any of this stuff, and it kind of got mixed up. Creepypastas are copy-pasted stories that you have to copy and then paste them. They're stories and or maybe like a JPEG image. Jesus fucking Christ. They're stories and maybe like a fucking, image of the story's contents that are traded again and again and again. For the... Oh, there he goes. Watch him explode, watch him explode, watch him explode. You share them over and over and over again in order to like kind of just keep them going, right? It's like a chain letter. The fucking stuff on the Marble Hornets is YouTube found footage horror. So like there was a billion of these, okay? Like I was talking about Tribe 12 and stuff. These were fucking everywhere, and that's what we called them, YouTube found footage horror, because even if it wasn't found footage, it felt like it's supposed to be found footage, and it's usually like you would say, wow, I literally found this in the footage from last night. I was filming and I can't believe what I caught on the camera. Also, Marble Hornets was okay at best. It was fucking really, really engrossing because there's nothing else like it, but it was okay at best. I remember finding out it finally ended. I started watching it because I got sick, because I had a rib eating contest. They had all-you-can-eat ribs at a place called Montgomery Inn in Cincinnati, okay? And if you're from Cincy, you just went like, oh, yes. I've never heard that mentioned intentionally by somebody before. Here we are. It's happening now. So I went to Montgomery Inn. I had the wing-eating contest, or a rib-eating contest impromptu with the people that I went to. And I was sick because I ate like 45 ribs, which is a substantial amount of pork, okay? Like, that's why my cholesterol will never go down no matter what I do. And I started watching stuff because I couldn't like fall asleep because my body was trying to process a just insane amount of pig flesh. And I started watching this thing that popped up called Marble Hornets because people were talking about it. Like, oh my god, somebody did a Slender Man thing. You guys seen Marble Hornets discussion thread, go, whatever the fuck. And I started watching it and I was like just super engrossed. But they're very fucking boring. It's the same thing over and over again. And it's kind of like they get drawn in because the ones that hit because you're like, oh fuck, wow, and there's a bunch of different stupid shit going on. The other one got hyper intense. It was called Rabbits, and it was this whole big. Rabbits was a part of it. It was this whole big thing, and they had games, and there was a guy, but it was really just like a bunch of dudes that were like, well, one guy, he was like, I'm gonna do my best Joker impression, and this is what this is gonna be. This is what it's gonna be. The joke with creepypasta is how obvious it is with the frequency it shows up. Yes, I mean that's kind of it. But like that's what it is. Those are not creepypastas. They are based on creepypastas. What you're talking about is YouTube found footage horror, right? That's what that is.
I think Candle Cove is one of the scariest. It's the idea of these people on a forum thinking back to an old show they watched, an old scary show, and going, wow, that was really strange and creepy. And it turns out they weren't watching anything. It was just static on the TV. It seems almost realistic enough to be this kind of mass hypnosis. This story that they
No, I gotta say, I know somebody made that's a creepypasta. Some people get confused about that to this day. I'm not saying Ant is. But people still get confused about that to this day. I don't know where the confusion comes from. But very much, that was a creepypasta forever ago. Candle Cove was probably one of the better creepypastas that exist. I think the best one... Are these guys just fucking dying? The best one is the... Oh, fuck. I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but... Oh, this guy's just taking it. The Tulpa Russian sleep experiment, right? That's one of the better, ultra better ones. And there's one, I can't remember, it's just the guy's name, and it's like da-da-da-da-da story, but it's about this guy who gets stationed at this weird, shitty place that's like super cold and there's voices and stuff. But there's like 10 million of these things. Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't have too much to add after that, but like, those aren't creepypastas. I don't know why.
Themselves happen.
Shut the fuck up.
Another story like the Russian sleep experiment's pretty good too. At least before it becomes blood and gore everywhere. Because there were a lot of medical experiments that did happen throughout the 50s, 60s, and 70s. There were some weird things people did. If you look back to MK Ultra and Project Stargate, you see a lot of weird experiments. So it doesn't seem too unusual that you would have a sleep experiment where people kept awake for many days and go crazy. Where it gets ridiculous is how far it goes with that concept. And that was the big issue with a lot of these creepypastas. They went too far. And not too far like too extreme or too scary, but too ridiculous and too absurd. Jeff the Killer is, of course, the poster child of this. A story that's poorly written, dude. Absolutely ridiculous, and while memorable, it's more known as a meme today because it took it too far. Again, not in a scary way.
Steve believes it's much more frightening. When you know that something's behind the door, your imagination makes it a lot more frightening. Once you see the monster, you start dealing with it, and it's sort of resolved. So,
Tales from the Dark Side, I want to go back to that. That was often very goofy. Tales from the Crypt, often very extreme. You see these gory, horrible endings.
I want to fucking answer that. I want to answer that fucking statement. Once you have to start dealing with the horror, it's done. This is not true. This is the mark of bad horror authors, okay? Bad horror authors can't deal with all three phases of horror. The discovery phase, the reaction phase, or like the discovery phase, the familiarization phase, and the retaliation phase. Those are the true three phases of horror, okay? And good horror can survive all of them. That is why The Thing is fucking god tier. That's why Jacob's Ladder is god tier. Because you figure out what's happening, and then you start working with it, but it still stays scary, even though you know the rules. That's like one of the biggest things. People like fear of the unknown is a thing, but here's the biggest deal. Like fear of the unknown is the easiest fear because people will invent it for you. That means that the writer is doing the work, or the reader is doing the work. We'll just say reader for this. The reader is doing the work in this case. If you're a mid to bad fucking author, right? Then that's fucking bully for you because they're gonna do all the fucking work for you. Joe Hill and a lot of fucking the non-Stephen Kingite Stephen King ripoff people get by on this, where you don't show the monster, you don't deal with the monster. You have to end with the monster always being kind of like unknown or unseeable. This is why fucking J.J. Abrams sucks dick at writing horror or anything that's actually scary, because he always has to have what I like to call the black blob. Black... There you go. Mox. June, please make fun of me in the comments. The black blob is what you write when you're a bad writer, okay? And don't worry, I've done it too. We all have. Because when you try to capture an eternal vibe that is, hey, did you know the unknown is actually pretty scary? Then you try to make the unknown a physical object. And the only way to do this is is by basically turning it into a shadow monster or a black blob of some sort, some undefinable, unseeable thing. And now that I have said this, you will start, if you are remotely fucking well-read, looking into your mind, and you'll go, oh my fucking god. And then you'll start realizing how many times literally living shadow has been the bad guy thing, to the point where sometimes there's about, I would say, a rough 10% of all stories, horror stories that have tried to be written, is basically your bad guy boils down to, or your enemy, your threat boils down to some sort of black blob monster that's basically just darkness and the unknown made real. Sometimes they'll say it like, oh my god, it's actually just our fear, but it's real. And you corny motherfucker. And then like you beat it by shining flashlights on it. Or getting the sun to shine on it and stuff. But here's the thing. Good horror stays scary after. That's they want to keep you even in the discovery phase. Discovery, familiarization, retaliation, right? So in the discovery phase, you're discovering what this thing is. And a lot of these bad authors and hack fucks will want to keep you in the discovery phase forever, so that they don't ever have to define anything. They're just always going to leave it to you, which, I mean, can work. And you're like, well, it seems like a genius idea. Yeah, it's a genius idea. That's why a bunch of people do it all the time. That's what hack fucking writing is. You're doing the same thing everybody else does because you don't have any fucking original ideas. Once you can survive the discovery phase and keep something scary into the familiarization phase, then you're fucking cooking. Then you're at least into like mid to high tier horror shit, all right? You get to do your fucking actual like really good scary story, The Grudge and shit. Like, oh, what's going on here? Oh fuck, we got a fucking like little demon monster and shit. All right, cool. Fuck me. All right, blah, blah, blah. And then you have, you know, the retaliation phase. The retaliation phase and keeping stuff scary past that point is the hardest thing to do. That's top tier. You at least want to get to the second one, because usually by the time you get to retaliation, you have to end the movie. Okay, it's the faculty. You figure out you got to make them do cocaine. You gotta make them do meth, actually. You gotta make your monsters do a little meth. They can't handle their shit. They can't handle their yick. They die. The Grudge, you know, The Ring. You do your thing to make it go away, whatever, okay? And that's that you get to the retaliation phase and you end. If you can survive scary past the retaliation phase, you are now in god tier horror writing, all right? You are in the tippity-tip fucking fat cock legendary levels, because it means your guy can come back, everyone can come back, and he's still fucking scary somehow. Whatever your fucking thing is. The Thing, Dracula, fucking like Jacob's Ladder, you know what I mean? You figure out what it is and you try to fucking go back against it, but then it's still scary because even fighting back against something is hard and it's terrifying to do because you might lose. And that's what real life fear is. That's what real life terror is like actual true fucking helplessness. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I got a gun. I even know I can kill this thing. But like, I don't know if it scares me, if it comes and gets me, you know, if I fuck it up, if I mess up even a little bit, then I'm screwed. Jurassic Park, the retaliation phase starts almost immediately. They figure it out. They know what's going on. It's fucking goddamn dinosaurs. There's no fucking fear of the unknown. I'm afraid of fucking dinosaurs, and they're scary as shit because they're fucking dinosaurs. It's great. Why? Because fucking apex predators are fucking scary as shit. They'll touch your butt, then you're fucked. You're fucking doodled. Why the fuck did I just light that guardrail up so hard? I lit that guardrail up so confidently. But that's really good horror writing, okay? Just keep that in mind all the time. I fucking hate people sitting on their laurels with the, well, the longer you keep the the monster out of the people's vision, you know, people will scare themselves. Like, okay, well, if they wanted to scare themselves, they could do what all of us do and accidentally step on a loud thing. Have a little fucking heart attack and go like, oh my god, and then that's fucking free, all right? You're a fucking creator. If you're gonna scare somebody, create something that's so fucking scary every time somebody watches it, they have the same heart attack because they're terrified that the thing that they know is gonna happen is still gonna happen and there's nothing that they can do about it. Do you know what I mean? You want to bring real fucking terror? Have somebody like, you know, write a scene where somebody's fucking kid's about to get fucking chewed up in half and there's nothing that they can do about it. They're like banging on a fucking window or something. Boom, 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 boom. room and they can't fucking do anything about it. That's like real fucking terror. Oh, you gotta bring a guy. Like, dude, fucking scare the shit out of people. Literally get inside their fucking hearts, get inside their fucking souls, and turn everything inside out so that they're fucking like on the verge of pissing their pants. Fucking like, god damn it, what if? If it was me, I'd be fucking doomed. You should have people so fucking tranced out by the possibility of having to exist in the world that you've created. Because once you've ascended to the third phase, and once you're into retaliation, and retaliation is not a fucking answer, then people have to come to terms with the fact that they're like, I might be fucked. There's literally nothing I can do, and I know what it is. I know what's coming. I know how it'll hurt me. I know how it'll get to me. That's why slashers are fucking good. We get to the retaliation phase, maybe they keep coming back. That's why fucking Freddy Krueger's the fucking GOAT, as a matter of fact. Give me that, give me that, give me that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Fuck. That's my spiel, though. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do with Anthony Gramuglia. Okay, that's not. I'm not mad at Anthony. I'm not mad at Anthony at all. Don't get fucking excited.
They knew how to do it well. The storytellers and the directors and the writers, they knew how to frame it in a way that was understandable, interesting, entertaining. These creepypastas were written to people who didn't really understand the means to tell a good scary story. They thought that just throwing everything to the wall was the best approach, and often that resulted in people being taken out of the story. Creepypastas were a short-lived but influential element of the development of modern children's horror because it was children telling scary stories to other children.
When did J.J. Abrams do any of that? Lost.
Would go on to learn how to write better horror stories, and that's great. Unfortunately, something horrible happened.
Support in the form of Purple Hearts is pouring in from across the globe for a Waukesha girl nearly stabbed to death by two classmates. An update now on her recovery from her family. Two of the girl's friends are accused of stabbing her as many as 19 times last month. They told police they plotted to kill her to impress the fictional character.
They didn't give a fuck about Slender Man, from what I understand with this.
I think when this happened, it really did shut the door on creepypastas for a lot of people because it was no longer just fun, it was now bleeding into reality. Ironically, a series of stories written to feel like they really happened started to have an impact on the reality in which we live in. And that's something interesting and horrifying that's really unique to horror. We don't see that too often outside of that. It's really fascinating, I think.
One interesting thing, too, about all this is that a lot of these scary stories for kids became popular less because of the frightening scenes within and more because of the convoluted lore. The SCP Foundation is not a children's horror story, but that structure of cataloging the unknown and enigmatic in a way to maybe gain control over it, to understand it, study it, that became a primary motivation for a lot of writers in the creepypasta scene, as well as theorists playing Five Nights at Freddy's and the various games.
Oh my god, okay, let's talk about SCP Foundation. First off, SCP Foundation, in my heart of hearts, exists only because of a canceled way before its time television show that no one ever talks about anymore called Warehouse 13, which is, to this day, a fucking one of my favorite things that's ever existed. I haven't seen every episode, and I know it was canceled, and I'm still actually crushed by the fact that Warehouse 13 was canceled. Warehouse 13, just to boil it down for you, God, this is such a good fucking... I love this video. By the way, if you feel like I have any complaints about this, I don't. I love talking about this stuff. Nobody's a real expert on nerd shit, all right? Everybody has their own fucking takes and their own whatever, and no one can ever know enough. That's the only thing to take away from this. But Warehouse 13 was on in 2010, 2011, whatever the fuck, and it was a basically detective procedural, but it was a bunch of Secret Service Treasury agents that worked for a special assignment called Warehouse 13. And Warehouse 13 was basically a actual literal warehouse that was unfathomably big, and housed all of these items that had special properties, right? And the warehouse itself was a special item. And they were all cataloged and categorized. So you had like Tycho Brahe's fucking nose cup and fucking like Nikola Tesla's coil and stuff. Then you have all of these like random little ideas of objects and shit that were all the fuck over the place. Is that show like Black Mirror? Fuck no, Black Mirror is so fucking mid, dude. I fucking hate Black Mirror. God damn it. Dude, everybody that likes Black Mirror, with all due respect, needs to just read like 5 or 6 fucking actual sci-fi books, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, wow, this is not even fucking crossing the bottom 30% of genre, is it? No, it is not. No, it wasn't some dystopian fucking modernized shit. It was a fun adventure show about like just dipshit dork fuck weirdos who were the fucking best, and they would pick these items, and all these items had powers. Okay, that's the thing. They all had some sort of thing that they could do. So you know what I mean? You'd pick up like some lady writer's umbrella, and if you held it open over your fucking head, it would help you see the person who was in the room felt the most guilty in the moment. I just made that up off the top of my head, but that's what the fucking things sound like, right? And they were really interesting. You know, there was some obvious like, okay, yeah, what is this? Oh, this is like, I think the Nikola Tesla's like rings or coil or something like that was just like a fucking actual electricity gun. And like it would look cool, but then you guys would be like, this is one of the most boring things in this fucking office. Yeah, Warehouse 13 was Sci-Fi Channel. Dude, it's fucking so good. Real Secret Service agents have a maximum of 90 IQ. I mean, I don't think that's the case at all. Have you ever noticed that every time a president gets shot, the fucking Secret Service agents manage not to? I think they're actually playing they're playing fucking 3D chess, at least. If not 5D, at least 3D. In between a realm of 3D or 4D or even 5D. I hate this fucking pontoon bridge. But no, that show is so fucking good. And people were talking about like, oh fuck, with this SCP shit is just fucking... SCP Foundation started off as far as I know, and I could be wrong about this, it was basically like TV tropes for fan fiction writers instead of fan fiction enjoyers. So you could write an idea, basically. That's the whole point of what SCP is. What SCP Foundation gave people to do, the ability to do back in the day, is write some part of a story that they wanted to see in a story without having to justify it by writing the story. That's the value of SCP. So you can be like, oh, I have SCP-0869 or whatever the fuck it is. What is it? Oh, it's an unkillable thing that really just wants to kill everybody, and we have to keep it in an acid bath at all times, or it'll wake up and blah 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 blah. And what's all these important things about it that would actually make it make sense? Ah, it's redacted. Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's neat. What is this? Oh, this is the knife that was used to stab what's her name? Fucking the girl that died in New York all those years ago, and everyone's like the world's ending, but the world didn't end. It just got slightly shittier every year. Kitty something, I think her name was. And if you hold on to it, you have to kill one person every day with it. And if you kill someone, you'll be able to get away with it. No one will know. But if you set it down, you'll be the first person that the next person to touch it will kill. So well, that's pretty fucking stupid of a thing. Like, yeah, it is. But I don't know. Maybe it's cool. It could be cool. It could be a thing. So we got to contain it. Yeah, we're containing it. And so then, like, the containment aspect of it could not survive the scrutiny. And it turned into dude, SCP was dog shit when I was reading it. Some of them are good, and because it's like a wiki, you can wiki walk in it, and you just keep clicking thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, right? And then you just realize at a certain point, there's a bunch of unwashed asses of fucking writers for this shit. What is it, Dr. Bright or whatever the fuck that sucked? And these guys basically were writing self-insert fan fiction where they're like, I'm the most knowledgeable about all of the SCPs, and I'll tell you what happens when I take a shit. Everybody fucking claps me on the back because I'm the best shit taker on Earth. And it's just the stupidest fucking thing. I fucking hate the SCP Foundation so fucking bad. So many people, and by the way, if you like it now, you've never seen it. I don't know if you didn't know that. You've actually never been on SCP Foundation if you got onto it after like 2014. You've never seen it if you've been on it after like 2020, I think maybe it was. I can't remember the exact dates. But that thing has gone through, I think, I'd have to ballpark this. Some fucking Christorian type would know, but I don't know off the top of my head. It's been through something in the ballpark of like 3 or 4 major purges. Major purges. At least 1 or 2 of which were like canonical. Like what happened? Like, yeah, the fucking SCP everybody reset. SCP reset got out, and now everything's resetting because it sucks, and we're all kind of embarrassed about how fucking stupid this shit sounds now. And like that fucking happened a few times, and it was because the Civil War popped off because people were writing self-insert fan fiction, and they were taking it dead serious. Dead fucking serious, and it was mad fucking cringe, and their shit sucked. I'll still tell you, I remember this one where they're like, I was reading it. It's like Dr. Bright showed up, or whoever the fuck it was, and he was resplendent. You know what I mean? Showed up as usual in his resplendent in his long black cloak, his broad black hat swooping over his shoulders, and he narrowed it down over his nose and smiled, ready for another wonderful day of working for. Of keeping the world safe as the foremost expert on SCPs on Earth shit. And I'm like, well, probably more of this should be redacted because this is fucking dog ass. What in the fuck am I fucking reading, dude? What in the fuck is this? And like so much of the SCP Foundation was trash. I'll say it until I fucking die. You can die mad if you're fucking ass mad about that. I don't know what to fucking tell you. It sucked. It was so fucking dog shit. It was so fucking bad for so fucking long too. Where the hell are the rest of my what, dude? Am I out of 545? That's armor piercing. Armor piercing. Where's my PS? Bitch, I know I didn't fucking use it all. I had like 10,000 rounds. Expansive? I mean, I have 377. Don't wait, did I use all my 545? It's actually pretty fucking impressive. Shocking and to a fault unbelievable. Well, that's weird. But no, SCP fucking sucked. SCP was ass. I request no fucking quarter on that, and I will give none either. It was so bad. That shit was so fucking dog shit. Alright. Okay, go ahead, Ann.
On Five Nights at Freddy's. I think to an extent this is something very unique to this era, because previously the scary stuff didn't need an explanation. Why does monster blood exist in Goosebumps? Who cares? How does the haunted mask really function? Doesn't matter.
No,
we get a vague idea, but it's not really a...
No, I know that. No, we know that. Oh, did we read that? Did you read those books? I swear to God, Monster Blood tells you where the monster blood comes from. I feel like with R.L. Stine almost always explained everything. Like, I feel like 90% of the fucking Goosebumps books would end with R.L. Stine, like, right, or whoever wrote it, I guess now. Just being like, and then they opened the door, and there he was, a monster, bleeding into a cup, saying, hey, you want some more of my monster blood?
Focal point of the narrative. Rather, the focal point is how this scary element intersects with the normal. With a lot of newer horror for kids, the focus is entirely on how does this work? How is this categorized? It's the Wikipedia-ification, so to speak, of horror.
No.
We have to catalog, we have to examine, we have to comprehend. And as a result, we've gotten things like the back rooms that becomes way too cataloged, to the point where you get different levels of the back rooms. The back rooms originally were just this concept where you might clip through reality and end up in this weird, nebulous, unending hallway.
Look at that fucking look at that X pose.
Almost like the back rooms of a store.
Oh wait, hold the fucking phone. Why is that post number so low? Is that cut off, or are you on a different fucking chan? The fuck is that post number so low?
Into different versions of the background
In
with
2019.
different monsters and threats, it started to lose its appeal. It became less of this existential, unending horror that had no explanation.
No, this is what
and
all-
more of an orderly world. With
This is what all
limitations and
creepypasta is
focal
like, though, man.
points.
Steve believes it's much more frightening. When you know that something's behind the door, your imagination makes it a lot more frightening. Once you see the monster, you start dealing with it, and it's sort of resolved.
Also, that ding dong's fucking up a much better quote from Alfred Hitchcock. Suspense is not me sitting on a table and there's a bomb on the table between us. Suspense is I've shown you there's a bomb beneath the table, and neither of us have acknowledged it, and we are carrying on our day, so nothing's happened. You know, that's what it's. We're talking about suspense. We're suspense in the reveal, right? And that's kind of the thing, is that if you're not a good author or you're a fuck up, sometimes you can just kind of like bounce around the outside of it, and it is what it is. You have to stay in the fucking suspense area because like that's all you can do. Because once you actually have to take it takes a lot of fucking balls to hop out of the ultimate comfort zone and actually go like, all right, well, I'm gonna take a dive and I'm actually gonna explain this shit. All these fucking people that are writing these things and are actually trying to explain how it works and why it's fucking scary. Like, think about, do you remember, guys, have you ever seen Chernobyl, right? The show Chernobyl? Chernobyl is scary as fuck. That is a fucking horror TV show series. And you know exactly what the fuck happened. You know that the goddamn radiation is melting people. You know exactly what's happening, and figuring out why it's happening and the fact that you can't do much about it is like suspenseful and terrifying because it's really well written. And you know what it is. You know it's radiation. Like literally the bad guy is radiation. Radon, the silent killer. Shout out that there. How about a ancient Simpsons reference? Radon, the silent killer. Nobody cares about that. It's not even a Simpsons reference. It's just a thing only I remember because it scared me. I was like, what's radon? It's gas that kills you in the basement. Oh, okay. Is it real? Oh, it's real as shit. My dad, real as fuck. Yeah, it'll kill you. Do we have it? I don't know. I'm not buying a tester.
I think this does cheapen horror a lot, and is one of the reasons why so many horror stories written in this era personally just don't resonate with me. It undermines the horror to give it more detail. And those two components, being too extreme at times without understanding the full depths of how extreme something can be.
Suspense is not, it's telling your actors you're not going to use real birds, but in the back of the you have thousands of birds and a shotgun
undermine
in your
a
face.
lot of these stories.
That's
in
not
my
suspense,
personal
that's
opinion.
genius.
Five Nights at Freddy's, these creepypastas, they showed studios, hey, kids do want horror. There was a short boom in the 2010s where studios tried to produce horror for kids. And it didn't go the way they were hoping. Paranorman and Hotel Transylvania showed that kids really love spooky stuff to studios. Now, both were very different tonally, of course, but were very well received. Paranorman was more of an authentic horror story with this intense pathos and amazing stop-motion animation, whereas Hotel Transylvania was a lot more fun, showing that kids do like and connect to these monsters, these outsiders. It hit the emotional core as to why kids were drawn
Calling Hotel
to
Transylvania a
Dracula
horror
and
movie is
Frankenstein
like,
back in the 30s.
Will you play with me?
I don't think
don't
that's a
ask any
stretch at
questions.
that point. I don't think that. I don't think that. I don't think that dog
Don't
hunts.
even worry about it. Now, on the live action end, things are a little trickier. Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark did come back, but neither really captured the public's imagination the same way they did previously. The Goosebumps films, especially the second one, failed to inspire faith in the franchise. And Are You Afraid of the Dark? Its revival was actually removed from Paramount Plus, erasing it as if it never existed at all. And you can find DVDs of it, I guess, but that's fine. There's also House with a Clock in its walls, which was alright. It's based on the older book. It's not bad. The Haunted Mansion of 2023 is honestly not terrible either, but it's also not particularly great. Feeling more like a summer
Wait, they made another
blockbuster
Haunted
than a horror
Mansion?
movie. And I think audiences were kind of tired of Disney at that time, and it failed spectacularly at the box office. Honestly, of all these reimaginings of these older franchises for kids, the best one is, again, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which was frankly horrific and a great starter horror film for an older kid, I think. Of course, with the new era of horror revivals, many new shows were slick, polished. They took the wrong lessons from movies like Scream, making something that's refined and slick like a teen drama, minus the sense of narrative earnestness that defined earlier horror for kids. And again, a lot of that was campy, a lot of that was silly. The Goosebumps revival TV show on Disney Plus is basically just Scream, ultra polished, but also minus the charm of Goosebumps. As a result, I think it's a spectacular misstep. And again, they're making Goosebumps a teen story.
I mean,
Changing
I haven't
the
seen these
demographic of the
properties.
age
I
of
have no
Goosebumps
idea
changes the core fear of everything.
if this is the case or
The
not.
Haunted Mask becomes less a story about being true to yourself and loving yourself, and more a story about drug addiction. Which, I mean, that's a teenage horror concept, sure, but it's also not relevant to what we're talking about. It defies the expectations of the story and ruins the themes therein. What modern studios seem to fail to understand is that horror for children is not just scary but PG. It's fear that's directly made to address the concerns and terrors children feel. The Haunted Mask works because children do feel insecure in themselves. They may hate themselves or dislike elements of themselves.
We're not going anywhere
to
near
completely
deep enough.
change what the Haunted Mask represents is to completely remove the entire point of the story. It's to recontextualize it in a way that's completely different. And while you could tell a good story about that topic, and indeed many monsters can be reapplied in different genres and concepts to deal with different fears, it does defeat the purpose. Why make it a Goosebumps story if you're going to fundamentally change the fears Goosebumps is addressing? Just make it something else. But they don't want that. They want the brand recognition. Because the brand is what matters. Not the heart of the story, but its exterior, its name, its trademark. It's just so clear by comparison.
I think we're giving Goosebumps too much icon status past its name, because really Goosebumps is first and foremost, and I really can't hammer this home enough, not good. if you take Goosebumps by the weight of it, and trust me, I was an R.L. Stine fiend. I've read Fear Street books. I've clogged through the Fear Street, New Fear Street, the Teen Wolf. Where I've read the R.L. Stine books where the werewolves fuck. Okay, like I'm in there. All right, Beach House Murders, the whole fucking shebang. I've read a bunch of these fucking things. Goosebumps books are not great. They really are just unfathomably mid, especially once you get deeper into it. And they were a cash grab well before they were anything the fuck else. Monster Blood, I think, probably has like 5 sequels. I know Night of the Living Puppet has like at least 3. I don't know why we're not talking about Slappy. That's like the biggest. That's the biggest fucking thing. That like, the fucking Slappy the Puppet was the Goosebumps like mascot for a while. It's kind of like, I don't know, trying to talk about fucking Looney Tunes without mentioning Bugs Bunny. You know what I'm saying? It's actually kind of like strange. We should hyperfixate on that. You really have to hyperfixate on Night of the Living Dummy, because that was probably one of the best-selling books too. Camp Meltaway, all these sort of things. Fucking Monster Blood, Say Cheese and Die, Say Cheese and Die 2, Say Cheese and Die 3, Say Cheese and Die 4, Camp Jelly Jam. There's a lot of camps. The one where they gotta go to a roller coasters, but the amusement park is all fucking monsters, but everybody knew that, and the kids find out that they're robots all along because 1970s style fucking sci-fi horror. Like, these are not really great. Some of them hit high highs. They really are. But as a series, Goosebumps is not an important and valuable part of somebody's balanced breakfast, okay? I say this as a writer who became a writer after reading these books, because I wanted to write them. I have to tell you, it's a very low-calorie diet item. Very, very, very little in the way of vitamins. Fucking Goosebumps book. And they mostly are their namesake. They really are. If that hurts you to know or find out about or hear, I can't do anything for you. In regard to that, it's just the case. You know what I'm saying? Where the fuck is Rostock? Oh, it's just dead north. Okay, just gonna get over this hill. But yeah, it makes sense because that's what it was. Like it was a cash grab for forever, which is why people stopped reading them. But even the ones that are good, they're very short books. I think the reason that they're good is because they're novel. That's it. They are extremely novel at the time because there just wasn't stories like that where kids were the main characters. If kids wanted horror, it was with adults in it, and kids wanted horror with kids in it where it wasn't cutesy, oh, my dog's here. Hey, dog, can you help me? And then, like, mom and dad saved the day. Goosebumps is good because kids usually have to get out of the fucking problem on their own, all right? Mom and dad can't help. Mom and dad are really aliens. Mom and dad got eaten by the slime. Oh, shit, I'm all alone. But I'm doing okay, right? I guess that kind of speaks to his point a little bit, but, like, we're also not really hitting it. But also, these things sucked a lot of the times, right? But that's why kids liked them, is because they're like, I could see myself in that situation. But, horror is horror. It's a genre in its own, and all horror is for anyone that can get to it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's kind of the point. It's like, should kids watch fucking The Shining? Probably not. It's not for kids. But would a kid be horror? Would it work? Yes. Kids won't understand a drama. Do you know what I mean? Like they like if I showed a kid fucking Marriage Story or some shit like that, they'd be like, what in the fuck is this? Why? This is making me sad and uncomfortable. But like I don't get it on a deeper level. But if I showed a kid like fucking Nightmare on Elm Street, they'd be like, yeah, this is fucking me up. I'm horrified. I am horrified. This is a good horror film. And I think that's kind of the point. We're putting too much onus on this. I think we're overvaluing media for children. Let them enjoy slop because they're fucking stupid kids. Okay? I really can't hammer that home enough. A lot of the kids that I knew that read fucking Goosebumps religiously and had all the Goosebumps bought for them did not turn into readers. I was a reader and I didn't get any of those books. Because they were fucking expensive. They were like fucking $5 or $6 for a fucking pamphlet, and my dad would get pissed about how fast I read them, so he would give me bigger books, because the big books were $5 too, and they would take me at least a day instead of like an hour. You're like, what the fuck? What the hell? I bought you that like an hour ago. Oh, I'm done with it. Like, why the fuck did I buy you a book that short? My dad was economical, so my dad and my mom were economical, so they bought me bigger books because I read too fast. Gifted child. Welcome to the 90s. But a lot of those kids didn't end up reading other stuff. And it's not because the fucking books that they read weren't good enough. Some people just aren't into reading. And I feel like having a little bit of fucking like casual slop for a kid that wants to engage with a horror story and support the horror community and stuff is fine. I think we're expecting way too much of this stuff. Like really good shit is rare. It's so rare. It's really fucking, it's so rare that I thought I should fucking throw my hat in and try to make some, because the people who motherfuckers sell to me as being like top tier, best of the best, like fucking hoggos to make fucking content are just dog shit at it. They fucking suck. So I feel like I can make it too, because they're very unimpressive additions to the overall sphere. What do I got here? Stoneblood, sell that. Sell that. Sell. Sell. Save. Sell. Save. I feel like that horn is going to come up and someone's going to want to buy it for like more money than normal. But like, that's sort of the thing. I just don't, I don't think, I think there's more kids horror than there ever has been, because all of the old stuff is here too. So sometimes you don't need to make new stuff because the old shit's fine. Do you know what I mean?
Scary Movies to Tell in the Dark's adaptation was produced and directed by people who cared about children, cared about what children wanted to see, as well as were competent horror storytellers in their own right. And I think that's one of the things that makes the Five Nights at Freddy's film so damn refreshing. The movie is somehow both extremely simple and extremely complicated all at once, much like the games, with countless threads that make a simple story and simple premise feel much denser than it really is. The horror is diluted, but, you know, it's often not very scary, much like the games became not very scary, and more focused on the complicated lore of the various characters. The games became more interested in the lore, and the movie reflects that. talking about the tangled mysteries and how things happen and what everything means, and speculation centered on a series of child murders and the construction of these animatronics.
Max radio
But the
protection,
film
max
apparently had a lot of
chemical
trouble getting
protection.
produced
What
because
fucking
the
good
producers, the studio, wanted to make a traditional horror film, and the creator, Scott Cawthorne, tried to really push back on that, trying to make it more like the games. And while mainstream audiences were kind of a little iffy on Five Nights, the kids who grew up with it loved it, now adults themselves. But of course, there's no connection to Scream or any of that super slick stuff I'm talking about at all. There's no connection at all to that era of,
I don't know
wait,
what super
there
slick
is.
means here.
I always come back.
I'm actually surprised that Christina Ricci didn't show up in this one. Oh wait, no, because she was in Wednesday, another slick revival of a classic children's horror story. I also think it's very ironic how Tim Burton actually showed up for this one with Wednesday.
Who is fucking
after
Ant talking
sitting
to that
out
keeps
the
saying
original
slick, and
films
now
that were
he's picked
inspired
up
by his
on it
aesthetic,
because this is
but
not.
I digress.
I made you.
This reminds me.
There's something.
The way he's saying slick reminds me of when. Remember when ISIS showed up and everyone's like, all the fucking news media people were like, "Wow, these motherfuckers have Adobe After Effects." They're really slick, really stylized, slick production from these ISIL terrorists. The production is very slick. Like, do you guys just mean that they're using LUFs? These guys are using single cameras and fucking depth of field. Like, holy shit. Did they use a 3-point lighting system? Holy shit. I think I established that. Not established it, like I fucking figured it all out. I think Ant doesn't know too much about cameras, which is fine. Am I allowed to call him Ant? I don't know him personally, but for some reason I feel like I've heard other people say that, and saying Anthony Gramuglia a bunch is just like hard. Because I'm stupid. And that's it. Oh my god. Wait, what the fuck?
Bring me.
Breaking light shit up with that pistol. Look at all this fucking stuff I have. Should I go to Yanev and get a shotgun? Your book, West by God, was good. Thank you very much. I think Ants is reading too deep into this. I think so, maybe a little
fitting
bit too.
about a villain played by Matthew Lillard, who played Ghostface and Shaggy, being dragged off to the darkness by the new icons of children's horror. It almost feels like a passing of the torch in some ways, though part of me still wishes they included a little more, shall we say, red stuff like in the games. So what does this mean for the genre? Well, it means
It made me tired. I don't know why that made me super tired,
It's no
but it
longer what it
did.
once was. And that's fine. That's good. Children's horror as a televised medium is maybe dead now, but it's become something very different, and I hope to see it evolve over the next several years. You see, the thing about horror is that it always has to evolve. It has to remain changing and ever-shifting. If we're too nostalgic about what was, then that's bad. We have to move forward. We have to evolve with the times. And horror for kids has evolved. It was a thing made for kids originally, but then kids took hold of it, they took ownership of it, and told people what they wanted to see, what they responded to. The modern landscape is more independent than ever, free of the studio system. Yes, the corporate marketing is now gone, but now it's in the hands of creatives who can do it themselves. They were inspired by these old stories that were made in spite of the studio system and can do it now themselves forever. Scooby-Doo might not be as big now, but Scooby-Doo inspired a lot of mystery stories that are now being told today. There are a lot of people who've taken ownership of the narrative and brought it inward, telling it themselves to scare each other and to scare kids, to have fun. At the end of the day, if you're having fun, that's all that matters. Children's media is being produced less and less and less now. There are fewer movies made for kids every single year. However,
I think
these
New Dad is having
genres
New
of
Dad
horror
worries.
aimed for younger audiences exist despite it. More kids are willing to go play Poppy's Playtime than they are watching a Goosebumps show. And that's fine. That's their experience. That's what they like. We can't force kids to watch the things we used to watch as kids because they got to grow up and do it themselves. As a future parent, I think
No, you
that's a
can,
lot.
though.
You know, I
You can
grew up
fucking
with these
say
scary
the little
stories,
sit
and I
down,
think
you little
more and more
motherfucker.
about
Get you
what
some
I would
culture.
show
This is
my
Courage
own
the
kid
Cowardly
when
Dog.
he is finally brought into this world. I wouldn't want to show him The Exorcist or anything like that, but they are movies made for kids that he could watch. But also, what will he be drawn to? What will he want to see? Because horror is only horror if you're drawn to it. If you're forced to watch something, it's not really scary. It's more an obligation. Horror in every generation is meant to define the fears and expectations of that generation, of who's watching it, of the target demographic. What is the horror for kids in the next decade? What form will it take? Probably more digital, more games, more independent material. What will they want? What will they be drawn to? The colorful mascots? The fear? The jump scares? The lore? Something more extreme? Who knows? But I do know this.
The funniest part is we already had mascot horror. It's called Westworld.
If you love horror,
I'm not even talking about the
next
HBO
several
show.
Years
It's from the
are going to
1970s.
be fascinating because of all the genres for kids, it is the only one that seems consistently to get quality work that's entertaining out consistently. I think so anyway.
Lock the doors.
Thank you very much, Anthony Gramuglia. Tune in for another Anthony Hour with Anthony Gramuglia. Crimson Ender 2. I think they drew some pictures for this. I don't know. I was playing Stalker 2. Okay. So anyway, I would say that's I would say those are some mid takes. With all due respect to my to the goat Anthony Gramuglia's, because Anthony Gramuglia's. Here's the thing. I don't think there needs to be kids horror. I don't think that there is a void that needs to be filled in any way, shape, or form for some sort of kid-based horror show, right? I think there's already plenty of stuff that exists like that. Can I turn that off? Okay, cool. And, well, I'll just let this go behind me and I'll just talk normal for a second so I don't get distracted by the game. I think that good horror shows up when you have somebody that's like actually ready to tell a story, and it happens to be a horror story. There just needs to be a child entertainer that's out there that has a good product for kids. I don't think that we need X amount, because it kind of feels like we're getting to a point where we're saying, well, how many new kids horror things made in a way that's like typical to our digestion do we need per year? You know, do we need a kids horror YouTube channel or whatever the fuck? I think the thing is just a lot of horror content is to some degree sort of just like, you know, it's slop, and that's like fine. Especially on the line, right? Scary stories, you know, two sentence scary stories, no sleep, r/no sleep, SCP Foundation, something awful creepypastas. This shit's trash content. With all due respect, it just fucking is. I mean, it doesn't even rise to the vast majority of these things. I don't think I've heard a single. People keep telling me, listen to this, no sleep. Listen to that, no sleep. No sleep fucking sucks. I'm sorry to say that. I hurt somebody's feelings once because they're like, I really like your stuff. Can you listen to mine? And I did. And I was just like, well, I'm never going to talk to them about it. And then they forced my hand because they were trying to fish for a compliment. And I was like, I can't give you one. You're not a good writer. I'm sorry to say it. You're kind of fucking ass. And it seems like that's the case with most people that are on no sleep. It's like, you know, with all due respect, you just don't have the chops or the talent. You fucking, your stories suck. I don't know what to tell you. This is trash, and you're bad at writing. Don't ask me my opinion, and expect me to lie, buddy. But that's fine, because it's not for like, it's not trying to fill the, you know, Cold Heart Canyon void that people have. You know, the fact that I'll never get through. I read Cold Hard Canyon for the first time only just like 5-ish years ago, and it damaged. I'm glad it took me that long to read it, because it damaged my ability to get into almost anything else. I think it's one of the reasons I stopped reading as much, is because Cold Heart Canyon put a fucking fat period on the end of what I will permit myself to waste my time with reading. It was right around then I was like, I'm never reading another Joe Hill novel again. He's trash. He sucks. His dad should have never given him any fucking work. He's so fucking awful. And it was just that fucking good. By the way, I've turned off the thing. I saved. And then I just jumped off a building. These things though, they're just mid, right? They're not great. They're not tremendous, but it's fine because it's kind of like, I just want a little bit of coffee. You know what I mean? You know how like you have coffee in the morning? It's commodity art that helps you get through the day or helps you like waste like 15 minutes at the gas station because you're waiting for your like, you know, your kid's in there taking a shit with your wife, fucking, she's gotta like change the kid in there, fucking watch him while he's in the bathroom. You got your phone up and you're reading through scary stories on Reddit and you read a stupid fucking scary story. And then you can tell your wife, like, I read this thing, it was kind of a piece of shit, but I'm kind of addicted to these because some of them are like, okay. That's fine. That is a place for content to exist. And I don't think that we need a constant influx of really good stuff. I think a steady occasional drip of the really, really good stuff is all right because it surfaces when it's time. You can't force it to happen. There is no like, wow, it's time for us to get good kids horror back and then we're going to it'll happen. I'm telling you right now. You're just going to get inundated with like, there'll be one or two good things and then you're going to get sick of it within a fucking year because two good things will get made and then people will start churning out shit like they always do. You just wait for the churn to happen and it'll come back in time. This is how products are made. And to the extent that we're talking about this, it's products. I think that Ant needs a better grounding in horror. I gotta say that. That was kind of all over the place. I was playing a game. I was a little distracted shooting fleshes in the face, and I'm also very tired from doing tile work all day. Doesn't mean Anthony's a fucking dum-dum. He's not a dum-dum guy. There's actually a lot of horror content for kids if you look. I don't have kids, and I don't want childish horror content, so I don't go looking for it, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, if you're talking about 4 or 5 years ago, how hard were you looking this year? Do you know what I mean? Which is the case. I think that I wrote a really good book, but not a lot of people have read it. Why? Because it's hard to fucking find. I'm not famous, so that's the case. Scapegoat super chatted $5. I should go find that somewhere up there. Hold on. There definitely isn't a void in kids horror and horror kids engage in. I know. I think maybe to some degree we're kind of opining or pining for a better era, higher quality kids shit or something. I don't know. Maybe I missed the point of it completely. I don't think any of the points that were brought up here are so like bad that like Anthony needs to be fucking like crucified or some shit, even remotely. I just figured a lot of people just don't get horror. It's my thing. I love it. I really do. And a lot of people, it just kind of glances off of them. They like it, but like the difference between I have horror movies that I like and like maybe games or books and like I get horror are two different things completely. Because horror is basically like one of the hardest things to do correctly. And it's not like me toot my own horn because I can. It's the exact same thing as comedy. Where like it's all about timing and pacing and really like understanding people and having such a deep understanding of both the viewer and who the viewer would view that you can kind of like make them feel one of the hardest things to feel, which is unsafe in their own skin while they're just void hallucinating words that you've written into mental pictures. It's like the implication. You know, it's very, very fucking hard to do. It's not easy to do, and it's also not easy to understand what is and isn't good about horror. It's a lot different than like other kind of kids programming. You could say for something like for like some mid-level, entry-level like kid stuff for dummies, like fucking Steven Universe that people give way too much fucking credit for. Steven Universe is like a little cutie cute show about like togetherness and understanding and all that sort of stuff. But it's not like some like deeply well-written, like hyper intense thing that has like these really like crazy big moments or something. You know, it really just isn't. I've seen a bunch of it. if you're a kid and it's your first show that you ever saw, trust me, it's going to hit way harder for you than it's going to hit for anyone else. Don't get excited because I said something's not good. But like something like that, you can say like, yeah, we need more of this thing because it provides a specific intentional benefit to kids that I want them to have, which is this like idea of togetherness and like cooperation and like getting over people's differences and trying to find non-violent solutions to violent problems. Okay, that's cute. That's cute. I get it. Horror doesn't do that. Horror is a different vibe entirely. Adventure and like pathos. Adventure and pathos. What the fuck are you saying? Adventure and comedy, and these like sweetheart stories are nice. Horror is its own specific thing. It's very, very much needs drama as part of its build up. If you don't have, which is why you have teenagers as the main characters so often as well too, because teenagers are always dramatic, and you can discover everything you'll ever need to know about a teenager usually in about 5 fucking seconds based on how they interact with a small group of people around them, and so that you can get into the pathos and the characters established, and you can care enough about them that you want to see them die or you don't want to see them die, however you feel about it. And like that's a major aspect of horror, right? You gotta like your literal life has to be on the line, or the implication of, I'm not going to get into my 4 theaters of horror thing. I could probably write a pretty psychotic dissertation on horror that would, I think, actually like be controversial and probably pretty impressive to some people. But it's just, what is fear and why people are afraid of it, and like what you can do to get them there. What can I do to get you there? You guys hear me say that all the time. I'm also sleepy right now, and the back of my head fucking itches like crazy. My skin's dry as fuck. But basically, I guess ultimately, I think we're, in this case, trying to find in something like, in horror, something that doesn't exist in it, like that does in other genres. It really is just a thing of its own. Horror is the first genre. It's the most primeval of all of them. Because the first stories that you really had to tell were horror stories. You know what I mean? Outside of standard day-to-day drama, like this guy did that thing, the stories that we first told were, this guy got ripped to pieces by a panther. You know what I mean? Like, hey, don't go over into those dark woods. Something lives there. And that was like, you know how often it was a dark and stormy night was actually how all of the original horror stories started, because that's when something would come into your fucking cave and then drag out your child and crush its head on the rocks outside and then eat it, and you would wake up to its fucking despoiled body. Like, that's what our first stories really, really were, and we invented the gods to justify all this sort of shit. Everything else is kind of a higher level, really, and so you can expect kind of these valuable returns for them, for children, that like the kids can benefit. I think that when we talk about kids entertainment and kids media, we think that kids can benefit from this thing, right? And kids can definitely benefit from horror stories. Trust me. As a man of German descent, shout out all the chopped off thumbs to teach you to be polite or whatever the fuck. I think it's actually to cut your hair and your fingernails. We're not getting tired to go on Anthony and Bash, or EFAP and Bash Anthony and maybe. I thought horror was about not doing dumb shit. It kind of is. The morality plays in horror are really kind of like very intense. I think people don't want to expose their kids to that well. And I think with kids media, you really want this like takeaway that horror isn't designed to do in that mid-level, not so subtle, kind of like just behind one door, one revelation of subtext. Horror is either extremely surface or so deep that it hits the fucking like monkey DNA core of you. Some chittering, screaming, hairy thing that we're fucking 7,000 generations displaced from, scared in the back of some fucking hollowed out rotten tree watching something try to fucking chew its way through the bark to you in the middle of the night. Like, that's what horror is. And then there's build-offs from that. But I just don't think that you can get or need to really like get all of these like kids horror properties. I think things are pretty much fine where they are, and there's probably plenty enough. And I'm just gonna keep saying the same thing over and over again at this point. So yeah, and segment. It's not really a segment. We don't have to make it a segment out of that. It's just one whole gigantic fucking episode. And it's 2:18, so I'm gonna talk to chat for a second. I'm gonna hit the rack. Do I still have this on? Did I used to start this show with this? Oh yeah, it's technical difficulties. I'm tired as fuck, actually. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of people softening up and ruining The Boy Who Cried Wolf. I don't even know what you mean by that. Tyler, if you were play your Starship Troopers video essay is good. Thank you. It's not even your neurons. It's whatever the fucking base of your spine's made out of. Maybe that is neurons. PR Fisher, Super Chat, $2. Don't need to be consuming the Mona Lisa every day. It's true. A balanced diet has a lot of meal in it. You know what I mean? Rice is fine. Rice can be mid. It can be good. It can be great. I had some amazing rice today, but like rice is rice, and I think it's fine to eat rice. Slop, right, is what you feed pigs, I guess you can say that. But like also you eat the same thing. You have your meal. Meal is meal. It's milled up fucking oats and grain. Meal. And it's fine to have a staple diet and then have steak here and there when you can really fucking like sit down and enjoy the shit out of it. Say who's this dummy to George Romero again. I'll say whatever the fuck I want to George Romero. Fucking being mid. Fucking zombies and shit. I just gravitated to Stephen King anyway because of R.L. Stine, because they were scarier books, LMAO. Yeah. Why I'm Afraid of Bees is an American classic. That just makes me think of Nicolas Cage. Hotel Transylvania is not a horror movie by any stretch of the imagination, lol. No, I didn't think so. The Backrooms is cool and it was just maybe empty. Monsters and stuff and turning it into another SCP ruins it. Well, that's kind of the problem with collective art. I think the best thing to learn from that shit, if there's any segment to get from this, no, don't worry about it. Collective art is trash. Collective art is garbage. People who say the phrase, I think everybody has something to add, are wrong. Sometimes it's better to gatekeep, and almost always it's good to gatekeep your art and your creative process from other people because they suck and their ideas are stupid and they just want to be a part of something that they could not do on their own, but they will not accept their mediocrity and silently sit and wait to be useful, and they will fuck things up. I don't know where I'm really going with this other than to say I fucking hate collective art projects. They're fucking awful every time. I will not engage in one. I hate it. I hate group work. If I work with someone else, I want them to be employed by me or employing me. Partnerships, handshake agreements, friendship, like, oh, well, you work on some and then I'll work on some and, you know, we both have time. No, never. Put a contract in. Tell me what you want done. Tell me what you want me to do. I'll tell you what I want you to do. And then we'll complete it. My entire life has been filled with me foolishly believing I should engage with somebody as like on a friendly level and starting to do like a project with them, and then they fucking drop it because they have something else to do. It's like, this meant so much to me. And now I literally can't do it because I was relying on you to do something. And then I realized, yeah, this is why you put people on contracts. Look, I just need you to do these things. Do these things and you're gone. You can leave forever. I just need these things done so that I can have it done. Tyler, what? You would always ask somebody to have a contract if you did anything creative with them? Oh my god, yes. Why? Because I was burned in 2nd grade. In 2nd grade, I wanted to make a book with a bunch of other guys, other boys in my fucking 2nd grade class. We're actually making a Goosebumps book. And one of the kids was going to write it. One of the kids was going to draw it. And one of the kids was going to put all the paper together. And I was like, I'll just draw the back and I'll write out all the other books in the series. And I fucking went in. And they didn't even make it like to the next day. I was like, are you guys going to write the rest of it? And they're like, well, we don't want to do it anymore. And like, it was boring. And then like, he lost his pencils or whatever. So we don't know. And I was like, I worked on this all night. I've never been more excited to do something in my life than make this book. And those kids failed me. And I'm not going to lie. I don't know. They're all going to be 38-year-old men now with probably kids and jobs. And I'm telling you right now, if any of those kids ever get fucking some sort of ass cancer, it's because I fucking wished it on them in like 1995. I blood cursed all of them in a moment, like fire and smoke. I think the best advocate for group art was Frank Herbert and his wife writing the first 4-ish Dune books together. I think his wife's input raised them up more. Well, they were fucking and married, so I guess that's probably the minimum fucking standard. You gotta give up some booty. Alright, I'm falling asleep. Folks, you've been watching Westside Tyler Live, and I've been Westside Tyler Bell. I hope you had a good time. I know it's a small one. It's gonna be like this probably for the rest of the week. I'm not time-stamping this shit. Don't bother with it. I just wanted to make like a stream and talk some shit and hop on here, but I gotta get out. I'm gonna go to sleep. Tomorrow I'm gonna do more tile work. Might have a normal stream. I don't know. I'm gonna wake up at like 10 and do a bunch of bullshit. Yup. With all that said, you've been watching Westside Tyler Live. I have been Westside Tyler Bell. Y'all have been great. Join the Discord. Until next time, as always, stay safe out there.